This report is sponsored by rockauto.com. The Padres are off until Friday due to the All-Star break. They'll be back at it when they start a weekend series at Kansas City. World Cup, we got one final from earlier today. Argentina defeated England 2-1. They will move on to the finals to face Spain. You can hear that right here on San Diego Sports 760 on Sunday, beginning at 11:30. A bent tie rod can quickly bring a drive to a halt. For the parts needed to get back on the road, visit rockauto.com. Find a wide selection of quality parts at reliable low prices delivered right to your door. All the parts your car will ever need. Rock Auto.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? What a beautiful afternoon here in America's finest city. John Schaefer, Alan Sliwa.
What's
hanging
up,
out
brother?
for the next 3 hours. How are you, my friend?
Oh, I'm good. I'm good.
Have you yet considered, we're coming off this ridiculous match that we'll get into, and Kevin Acee will join us in about 10 minutes. Have you considered, this is off topic, but I just thought about it when I looked at
Why are you so zoomed in?
I'm not zoomed in, dude. You told me to do this on the stream.
I'm joking. I'm joking.
I think it looks good.
I'm joking. No, it does look good. We had, we cleaned it up a little bit. No. You're fine. Just leave it the way it is.
Have you considered yet? Because it's like, what is it outside? 85 degrees. It's warm.
It's very warm.
It's warm in San Diego.
Very
Have
warm.
you yet considered wearing shorts to the office?
No. It's just it's the weather in here is a lot different than it is outside.
What if it was warm in here?
Then I'm coming in with
shorts.
I'm going no shirt. I'm just going no shirt at all. It is definitely it's a little warm outside.
I'm a wear like jeans to work guy.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
That's just how I've always been. Or like working in press boxes. I'm always gonna like kind of look the part, right? Like
went for a walk earlier and went to the gym in that sweater. I was just sweating. It was.
Wait, today you were wearing a sweater and you went for a walk?
I told you every time I go.
Is it an effort to like lose weight, or are you doing like
it's a little bit of
like
all
a
of
sauna
that
effect?
But it's a little bit of all that.
Speaking of the sauna effect and the temperature outside,
how on earth? Some LBs.
I'm watching these matches.
Okay.
Whether it was the recent match that I watched in Miami in the middle of the afternoon, I'm like, why are they playing in Miami in the middle of the afternoon? It's like a World Cup quarterfinal, and they're playing in Miami. But first of all, the level of endurance that goes into these athletes to be at this level, and then we watch this thing play out today between Argentina and England. This is
so freaking good.
There have been so many, and you were in Mexico City for Mexico and England. I thought that was incredible. This thing lived up to billing. This was absolutely incredible. What a wasted opportunity for England. Leading late, couldn't get the result, end up losing in regulation. What a phenomenal game, and now we got the World Cup final set.
All right, here's what it kind of reminds me of. By the way, what a great freaking catch by iHeart to grab all these games on radio. So
they're in every game.
I'm coming in, and you're doing the same thing. We're working on it. We usually get in right before 2:00 and listening to the game. Both goals on radio, right? So both goals happening while we're driving. Yeah. Are you doing radio? Are you doing app? What are you doing? I'm just doing straight radio.
Today on 101.5 HD2.
Oh, you're doing the 101.5. Okay.
Which is, by the way, if you have a Tesla, if you have an electric vehicle and you don't have AM radio, or you want the HD signal, 101.5 channel 2. So 101.5 has multiple channels on HD channel 2. You can listen to 760.
Okay.
Just food for thought. Were you on the radio or the app?
I'm just radio. Just old school. Yeah. No, let's not mess around.
Sound of it.
Just let's go old school radio. You know what it reminded me of? Which I think if you want me to try to tie, this might be a little bit of a stretch here.
Okay.
You want me to tie England, Argentina for a chance to go to the World Cup and find a local tie to that? I swear when I'm watching this game and where England basically decided we got one goal. That's it.
Yeah, they did decide that.
Everything we're going to do from now is going to be all about defense. Our substitutions all going to be defenders. It kind of reminded me a little bit of the Mexico game as well. I gotta drink.
Are you okay? You getting choked up? Alan is such a diehard Three Lions guy. He's such a supporter of England. It's been hard for him to get through the last hour.
Or at an RX bar and I'm choking on it.
Maybe the latter. Maybe the latter.
Bro, you know what it reminded me of?
What does it remind
If you ever watch, like, the NFL is such a great example of this. When the Chargers were in San Diego,
right,
and Marty Schottenheimer
trying to hold leads
would go into this, I'm just going to do everything I can not to lose. When the real winners, like the ones that actually carry Super Bowl trophies, are the ones that are like, I'm stepping on your throat while you're down. It made me think of that. England you're playing the champs.
It was insane.
And to beat the champs, you know what you don't do? Is try not to lose the last 15, 20 minutes, probably even longer than that. Probably say for like a half hour.
I agree.
And maybe that worked against Mexico, with all due respect to Mexico. They ain't Argentina, and they don't have Messi on their team.
Yeah, it's funny you say that about the Chargers. I will even use, and it actually worked by and large. Listen to this analogy. It worked by and large here locally with Rocky Long. They would build a lead, and they would hold it with their defense. They'd be content to run the ball in 3 consecutive plays, punt it away, and rely on their defense. It's hard to do. It's not modern football by and large. I don't know if it's preferred the way it looks, but they actually won a lot of games playing that way.
Here's the difference. Let's just say hypothetically
obviously
here.
The NFL's different.
But no. It's okay. Yeah. You could use that analogy. Okay. Yeah. But let's say you did this, and you tell me if this is going to work or it's not. Okay. I'm an NFL team. I built up a 10-point lead. I'm in the third quarter, third quarter.
Yeah.
I go all prevent.
Right.
I'm just going to start running the ball.
Right.
Here's the issue. Who's on the other side that I'm giving the ball to?
Right.
If on the other side you're giving the ball to Patrick Mahomes or Matthew Stafford,
Tom Brady,
or Messi.
Yeah. Right, exactly.
The issue is the team that you're doing it against, like, is it the number one offense in all of football? Is it one of the top 5 offenses? Is it the current MVP of the NFL? And I think, I use the Marty example because I think I remember one time I was at a playoff game, a Charger playoff game. And the one time that he decided, I'm going to listen to the crowd.
I'm going to go for it.
I'm going to go for it. I want to say it was against the Patriots.
Oh, geez.
And it's no. The Chargers had some of those moments back in the day, and I would give up everything to still have that team in San Diego and go through those losses. But there was a possession. I think it was 4th and 11. Okay, and Marty picked that time, and he's like,
"We're going for it.
We're going for it." And the whole crowd, listen. Anytime you go for it on 4th down, for the most part, the crowd's going to be behind you.
Yeah, do it.
Let's do it. There was nobody in the stands.
Like, what are you doing?
Marty, of all the times that they're like, Marty, not this time, not this time. Anyways, let's just say that they didn't convert on that 4th and 11. But I just watching that game, Argentina and England, such a phenomenal game to watch. But man, what a missed opportunity. And England decided against the champs, we're going to try not to lose. And now they're playing in a 3rd place game on Saturday. By the way, you can hear here.
Which you can hear right here. Yeah. And it is actually an intriguing piece. It is England and France in that rivalry. But, dude, what Argentina has done in this tournament is literally remarkable. In this sport, to overcome deficits as often as they have with everything on the line in the knockout round, they've overcome multiple goal deficits. They trailed Egypt by 2 goals in the knockout round, won the game. They're trailing England in the 85th minute of a semifinal. World-class England with their tournament to this point, they find a way to win. Like, it's not the NBA where it's like, hey, we had a 6-point lead with 2:30 to play and we blew it. Yeah, it's going to happen. It's the NBA. Having a lead late in knockout rounds, what are the chances you're going to win? Significantly high. Yet Argentina has bucked that trend throughout this tournament.
What is it about? Like, I really don't understand it. Tell me where prevent works in any sport.
It's
I see this in the NBA all the time.
I agree.
You're up, you're like milking a 10-point lead with 6 minutes left to go.
They score so quick.
And you got these just superstars on the other side. I'm like, this ain't going to work.
You're right.
It's just, it's a.
You can't do it in baseball without the clock.
To be honest, it's a loser's mentality.
I agree.
Like, I think there has to be a point where you could be more. I thought England could have kind of had that mindset of like, all right, let's not be crazy aggressive, but let's also still be opportunistic rather than we're just going to let arguably the best country in the world who just won a World Cup, who has Lionel Messi, that keeps winning all these. I didn't know they want, Copa America. Like they're
everything.
Argentina's winning everything. Let's give them, and I know you're watching the game, listening to the game, whatever the case is. They had a couple off the post. I mean, Argentina was like, they basically said to themselves, yeah, we're eventually going to get one of these to go.
Yeah, it's not like they had one chance and they capitalized on it. Now I am curious. Spain has gotten none of the national coverage like Argentina. Oh, yeah, we have Kevin Acee coming up in 4 minutes, so we're going to break right now. I am fascinated now. Does Spain kind of under the radar just win this thing? The extra day of rest. Nobody's been talking about them. We'll ask Acee about it on the other side.
Yeah, Spain looks a little. I don't even know, sneaky after the way they dominated France. That ain't sneaky anymore.
Who's favorite? I want to know. We'll talk about it more. Kevin Acee, though, on the other side from Philadelphia. The latest with the Padres, with the trade deadline looming and the second half about to get underway. Kevin Acee, our Padres insider, joining us next on Schaefer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760 and live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, Kevin Acee back with us. Second half for the Padres about to get underway in Kansas City on Friday. And Kevin back with us as our Padres insider on San Diego Sports 760 and Schaefer and Sliwa. Always appreciated, Kevin. I know you wrote about the way Mason Miller has been asked about his future during the All-Star media event. How has he handled this type of attention, and what was his overall reaction to the attention with his name being centered around the upcoming deadline?
It's hard to imagine like anyone handling it better. Like, yeah, as long as I'm not under contract, this will happen. Been through it before. I totally get it. Teams would want to have me. I mean, like, he's not shying away from any aspect of it. I truly believe he wants to be with the Padres. I truly believe that he came here expecting that he was going to be a part of a contender. It was so different from what happened in Oakland/Sacramento for him. And he thought that this was it. He's made some nice relationships. That thing you see up on the board during games, he and Jason Adam, that's real. Like, they're buds. They share certain thoughts and values and all that. I mean, like, he's about to become a father in San Diego, as long as he's not traded before then. Yeah. And like, yeah, they're like all of it. I can't even, I honestly, I kind of marvel at it because you've seen a lot of guys go through this. So he's just a straightforward guy.
Kevin, I know it hits storylines, right? When people can say, hey, is Mason Miller going? So we saw something earlier, I think it was in the New York Post, and it's like, Yankees, will they make a run at Mason Miller? I know it gets clicks, everything else, and the Padres are kind of in an interesting situation themselves, so let's not downplay that. But how surprised would you be if dust settles, we get through the trade deadline, and Mason Miller actually got traded? How big of a shock would that be to you?
It's interesting. Okay, so the way you're phrasing it, I'm going to say, I guess I wouldn't be that shocked, but I was fully prepared knowing this would be a topic, and just walking in my room here and going, okay, how do I feel about Mason Miller being traded and all the things? Because I'm in the middle of writing, big mid-season story that looks ahead to the trade deadline. And my thoughts are based on talking with people and, history is like, gosh, I just don't know if he's going to get traded because, there's a lot up in the air with the CBA. There might be one less year of free agency for him. One less year until free agency for him. And you might not be a 27 season. Plus, how much are people really going to give up for him? Like, there's just a lot going against it. In addition to the fact the Padres could end up deciding to keep him and because they want to try to make a run this year, next year, the year after, whatever. So I don't think there's this great likelihood, but the fact is they are considering it. They're considering all of it. Name me a player and they're probably considering it. And so, if you say, would I be surprised? No, I guess not.
One quick follow-up to that. How common is it where, I'll just use as an example, let's use the Mason Miller piece as an example, where AJ Preller does not have interest in trading him off, but an offer does come right before the deadline, and he almost feels like, hey, there's nothing I can do. Is that, maybe he's not the example that we should be using in this situation, but is that common amongst trade deadlines where, I have no interest in trading somebody, but I just got an offer that I maybe this is a good example of the A's last season with the Padres.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's probably a better example because it sounds like the A's didn't want to, and then they felt like the deal they got was just too good. I think it was the Yankees were in on Mason Miller last year, and then the Padres came in with this offer. The A's were like, yeah, we got to do that. So that's probably a good example, but this is a good example too. When I say they're thinking about it, it's not like they're quote unquote what we would all think of as shopping Mason Miller, from my understanding. Teams know that where the Padres are at and that AJ Preller will do anything, and that the Padres are considering the possibility that they could get something to make them better for the future. Or help them build for the future by trading Mason Miller. So it's kind of that situation where it's going to be up to people to make it worth Preller's while to unload Mason Miller.
Kevin Acee is our Padres insider. Do you believe that if they do, quote unquote, go for it, let's say they get out of the break here and they play well enough, they don't have to play perfectly, but we look up in 15 games and they've gone, 10-5 or something like that. Do they have the assets / resources available to kind of fully go for it? I'm not talking about the very top of the market like a Scooble, but some of these other starting pitchers, the Seth Lugos, the Robbie Rays, some of the available position players. Could they complete that task, so to speak, if they wanted to?
They say they can. Now, there's all sorts of things like if it makes sense, within reason. But they say they have the resources, and that's money, to take on a little bit, whatever that is, 1/3 of a team, 1/3 of a guy's salary. Obviously it's got to be a team that's not out of it. And there's like 7 of those right now. There'll probably be 10 to 12 of those by the trade deadline. Maybe 15 of those guys by the trade, 15 of those teams by the trade deadline. But the reality is very few teams fall under the true seller, offloading everybody. And so they say they do. And okay, yes, Leo DeVries was a huge part of it, but that was one of the trades they made last year. They also gave the Orioles an entire draft class, and they made other deals. So the Padres can have the players. They have some young pitchers that teams could take flyers on if they're looking to dump a portion of a salary or whatever. The Padres have the wherewithal. Preller has I don't want to gush too much, but he has the genius, right? He's shown that. He has the ability to make deals that can make the Padres better along with some resources to spend. Last year, he did it all. Now, DeVries was a big part of this, but also he gave up Bergert and Kolick. That was a part of it. That he did basically a net zero. They did not put any more money by getting all those players at the deadline last year. There was no more 2026, 2025. Payroll did not go up at the trade deadline. That was remarkable. Don't have to do that this year is what I'm told. I don't know what that means. Do they have $6 million? Do they have $8 million? Do they have $2 million? I don't know what they have.
Kevin Acee, our Padres insider, joining us here on the Schaefer and Sliwa show. Kevin, if you look at the second half of the season, is there... Let's take away the trade deadline. Let's take away potential, moving players. What are 1 or 2 things you're most interested in coming up at this final stretch of the season once we get started on Friday?
Musgrove, Pavetta, Jason Adam, as in when do these guys get throwing and what's that progression toward a mid-August return for one or both? When do they come back? Jason Adam, same thing, waiting for that scapula and the shoulder to fully heal. I think he maybe gets out to Arizona next week, I think. So where's that? Where's Jeremiah Estrada? Very mysterious there. And then Jackson Merrill, the guy either goes 2 for 5 or 0 for 5. A little more power. I like his at-bats for the most part. So where does he go? Does Xander Bogaerts finish strong? That would be huge because he has for 3 years, all 3 years with the Padres. I don't, really see the signs of it right now, but hey, it's happened the past 3 years. Tatis, does he so he had 5 homers in the first 96 games. Can he have 5 in the last 66? Because that'd be pretty good. Especially he's hitting an extra base hit every 10 at bats since May 24th. So that May 24th, that's the time when Tatis' season kind of took that turn. Manny Machado keeps saying it's the guys in here, and he doesn't really believe that. But to some extent, sure, yeah. It's not, they're not going out and getting Juan Soto, who, by the way, wasn't that great in the last part of 2022 or in the postseason. But they're not going out and getting Juan Soto and Josh Bell. So, it is kind of the guys that are there and how they do.
My final one on Machado and Tatis. I mean, it is crazy. You look up, Machado still has an OPS plus below league average. It's 95. And Tatis has a league average OPS plus 100. So he has been an average major league hitter this year. Would you bet on their second halves being more fruitful than their first halves?
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah. If we're going to say they're going to get close to the back of the baseball card, I hate using that phrase, but hey, it gets it across, doesn't it? If we're going to say that, then they would have to. That's remarkable, by the way, because I forget what it was, but they were in the 60s, and it wasn't all that long ago.
Right.
That's remarkable. That doesn't mean hey, the Padres offense has been better, still lowest ranked in the league. Like, the overall picture is what it is, but like, that's remarkable. Also, holy smokes. Like, the time they were good is the time the Padres were bad because the pitching, right? Like, they can't get anything together. Like, so there's so much that comes out. When you say that to me, I go, because I remember looking like a week ago or something saying, oh yeah, okay, Tatis is there and Manny's getting closer. That's remarkable. Yeah. And like, oh wow, that they've been really good recently in some ways, but the team hasn't been good. The pitching has been horrible. Starting pitching, we all know what I mean. But yeah, the bullpen's been a little under the weather and, hasn't been great. So, man, a lot of problems. Geez, they should just sell.
All right, final one for me, Kevin, just to hit on what you just said, that any optimism that some of these pitchers that the Padres have been using in the starting rotation, any optimism that as the season progresses here, they'll be a little bit more competitive outside of Michael King?
Oh, I hate to say that because I got so much respect for these guys, but like, what's it shown you? I mean, Griffin Cannon's made some strides, but Goss, he was terrible. And JP Sears is okay. And Gus, I like Herman Marquez's mentality. He's got a number one mentality still, and he might not even be a number 5 anymore. But like, I like the going after it. But like, what is that? So look, they need it. They'll tell you they're going to get a starter maybe if they're buyers, right? They need Musgrove or Pivetta. Both would be a bonus. They need 2 of these other guys. They need Buehler to come back. He's tired, man. And they need Buehler to give him another run. So they need 2 of the guys that we're talking about to perform decently, no matter what. So, I mean,
plus a new starter and plus one of those 2 guys. Yeah, you're right. It's a lot.
There's some things.
I don't have a lot of optimism there. And my optimism doesn't matter. My optimism is based on, my discussions in addition to what I see. But, I don't know that there's a whole lot of optimism there either. And when I say there, inside the organization.
Kevin, always appreciate it. Let's catch up Friday from Kansas City.
Well, that's where I am now, so that'll be easy for me.
There you go.
I'll talk to you.
I'll talk to you.
Bye.
I'll talk to you at night. How would you feel as a fan if the Padres traded Mason Miller? Plus reaction to our conversation with Kevin Acee next on Schaefer and Sliwa.
This report is sponsored by rockauto.com. Padres are off today. They'll be back at it on Friday when they start a weekend series at Kansas City against the Royals. World Cup, we had one final in the semifinal earlier today. Argentina defeated England 2-1. They will move on to face Spain in the final, which you can hear right here on San Diego Sports 760 on Sunday, beginning at 11:30. Grinding and squealing are signs it's time for new brakes. Skip the hassle of searching for the right parts and shop rockauto.com. Find trusted name brand parts at lower prices and have them shipped directly to your door. All the parts your car will ever need, Rock Auto.
All right, San Diego Sports 760 has 9 chances to win $1,000 every weekday with the Bonus Bucks giveaway. That's every hour, 9 a.m. through 5 p.m. Listen for the keyword, then enter it at sportssd.com. Your next chance to win $1,000 is coming up after 4 p.m. on San Diego Sports 760.
All right, how about this, Alan, for the talkback mic today? If you want a 4-pack of tickets to see ZZ Top, just use the talkback mic and tell us how you would feel if Mason Miller was traded. How would you feel if Mason Miller was traded, Padres fans?
That's a good question.
Open up the iHeart app, search for San Diego Sports 760, click the red talkback mic. Just by doing that, you're entered to win a 4-pack of tickets to see ZZ Top August 4th here in San Diego. So I'll ask it to you.
Yeah.
If we get to that deadline and 1 year later, Mason Miller is on his way out, he's going to be wearing pinstripes in the Bronx, playing for the Yankees. The return is sizable, but you'll never know, or we won't know in real time. What will your reaction be?
I think it would send a really loud message. I think, I would be upset that they traded for him and then traded him away 1 year later. Be like, well, why the hell did you do this then?
Right.
I think the signal, you could look at the signal a couple different ways. You can say that, well, is the idea now that you're no longer competing? Like, are you churning a chapter? Or we got such a haul back that it actually helps shore up some different pieces for us and then helps our farm system and got some of these prospects back that we just felt like, again, what's the scenario? Is it a trade where they just had no choice to do it? I'm sure the A's thought to themselves last year, we're not trading Mason Miller. And then the Padres came into an offer and said, we have to trade Mason Miller based off of this deal. But it would be, he's one of the faces of your franchise right now. I could just think of the whole beginning of the season.
0 ERA forever.
But not even just that. He was talked about, if he keeps this up, can he be in the Cy Young conversation? The scoreless inning streak that finally ended. The music and the theme of him coming out starts making you think of Trevor Hoffman back in the days with Hell's Bells. It's like, damn, this is kind of a significant player for your franchise. It would raise a lot of questions for me, and I would then say, well, what the hell were you doing a year ago? That's part of how that's how I'd honestly look at it.
On one hand, I recognize that Mason Miller is the best player on the Padres, but on the other hand, I do recognize that what's the point of a great closer on an average team? Now, things can change. Like, you might look different in 2027, but it's like investing really heavily in like your bedroom and having like the worst kitchen. Maybe that makes sense for certain people, but like a lot of people probably be like, let's start with the kitchen and the bath. And then, you know what I mean? It's like,
you invested so much in the bedroom.
You're like
that you don't have enough money for the kitchen.
For the kitchen and the bathroom. And that's how I feel a little bit. To your point, I like your point, which is, if Mason Miller's return is so significant that you're impacting a number of areas of need for the Padres, then maybe it's worthwhile. Because right now, it's like we all agree, you and I included, they have multiple holes. So can you address multiple things with Mason Miller? And honestly, probably, but there's no guarantee. Well, here's the guarantee. Mason Miller is Mason Miller. We can't guarantee his health, but Mason Miller is Mason Miller. We can't guarantee the return, even if it is the quote-unquote top pitching prospect or top position player prospect. We don't know how that player pans out. So you have Mason Miller. Are you able to scout effectively enough to get the return that is necessary?
So listening to Acee about how he wouldn't be necessarily shocked if he got traded.
Right.
I would be. I really would. Like, I find it hard to believe that, again, somebody that, at least as of today, you look at every player that's on this roster for the Padres, Mason Miller is as big as it gets. Mason Miller is national headlines. Mason Miller was the only player representing the San Diego Padres yesterday on that All-Star team. Like, he's the face of your franchise. Now, you could make the argument and say, no, it's Manny Machado. No, it's this.
Sure.
They weren't at the All-Star game. Nobody's talking about, at least as of today, are you looking at Manny Machado and do you feel good about Machado as a Padre today and what that future is going to be over the course? It's a lot more question marks than it is, I feel great about it. Mason Miller, you feel great about it. Now, I understand the role that he has is not an everyday role.
Right.
And I understand the role that he has also means you need the team to be in a position for him to come out and be the best pitcher in all of baseball. But I would be shocked. I would be shocked. And part of the reason why I'd be shocked is because of the haul that you gave up last season to get him, knowing that some of the justification for that was under team control. And you get rid of him 1 year later. I'd be very surprised.
I'm with you. I would be surprised, maybe even shocked. Of course, we don't put a lot past AJ Preller. I also wonder now, will they buy and sell? Like, is there a world where you move Mason Miller and you say, well, why would you aggressively pursue these two starting pitchers and give up real assets but trade Mason Miller? And could the reasoning be, just hypothetically, I'm just going to trust Adrian Morejon to pitch my ninth innings right now?
I was just going to say, there's a little bit of a luxury that they have because of these other pieces in their bullpen. Now, we kind of get caught and lost, and we're talking about Musgrove and Pivetta and some of these other guys. Jason Adam is on the IL.
He's on the IL. Yep.
Jeremiah Estrada is on the IL. Like, you also have other significant pieces that are also not there on top of Pivetta and Musgrove.
And if you're moving Miller,
there's so much that can happen between.
But here's the other thing. If you're moving, why not just move Morejon? And I'll tell you why. They say, well, Morejon's only controllable through the rest of the year. They're not going to pay him, right? He's going to make a fortune of money in free agency. Why not just move him? Because he's a rental. So, yeah, you can move him and get a decent enough return, but nothing like the holes you can plug, so to speak, with Mason Miller. Mason Miller's return is going to be a real one.
I'd rather consider, and I'd hate to see Morejon go. I'd rather consider Morejon goes over Mason Miller.
Yeah, because you have Miller for 3 years after this.
And again, I go back to it. It's like, wait a minute here. Did we just freaking spend our life savings to buy this home? We're putting it up in the market in 1 year.
A year later, yeah.
What are we doing? The neighbors are looking around like, you guys just got here. Like, I'm not sure. Just kind of like, it signals to me, what are we doing? That's what it signals to me. Like, it makes me, I remember even when that trade happened a year ago, I was like, let's do the sign of the cross and pray this thing works out because of what they gave up. Mason Miller's an absolute stud. But is that where you want to give up your number one prospect and one of the top prospects in all of baseball for a closer where you already have a bullpen? I can make it that's a fair argument.
Yeah,
I don't think that's nothing against Mason Miller and how good he is.
They didn't have to do it.
But damn, there's some other holes as well that the Padres need to clean up.
Yeah, no, I'm 100% with you. It's going to be fascinating to see how this all plays out.
I'll tell you this, and this kind of leads a little bit to one of the articles. John Heyman wrote an article for the New York Post today. And I love this, by the way, all these that come out. And the title of the article in the New York Post, Yankees match up well in possible Mason Miller trade with one prospect likely off the table. And he goes in that according to, an insider, that the Yankees love the idea of adding Mason Miller. Of course they would. Why wouldn't they? And then it just kind of talks a little bit about, what would be the type of haul that would come back. It talks about how the Padres are in this in-between, which they are, 48-48, finishing the first half of the season 17-28. Does that give an opportunity now for the Yankees? You heard Kevin Acee just talking about it, that last year with the A's, the Yankees were making an aggressive charge, and the Padres are the ones that came in and, obviously just made a Godfather offer. So there's a lot of chatter around Mason Miller around all of baseball, whether he's going to remain with the Padres or not.
How would you feel as a Padres fan if he was on the move this deadline? You can hit us up on the talkback mic. We'll play those coming up. Open the iHeartRadio app. Search for San Diego Sports 760. Click the red talkback microphone. By doing that, you're entered to win a 4-pack of tickets to see ZZ Top on August 4th right here in San Diego. All right. Is this the pitch that will matter the most to LeBron James via voice memo? You're going to hear it on the other side as this free agent saga continues for LeBron James. Adrian Garcia-Marquez, by the way, the voice of SDFC. You hear him on 760. He'll join us with more on what we saw today and moving forward into the World Cup final on Sunday. He'll join us at 4:30 here on Schaefer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, the wrap coming up at 4 p.m. Adrian Garcia-Marquez, voice of SDFC, on the World Cup final being set, will join us at 4:30 this afternoon. What do you got to read?
A little read here.
Yeah.
Our iHeartRadio Music Festival is back. Live performances by the Goo Goo Dolls, Kenny Chesney, Lainey Wilson, Snoop Dogg, Weezer, and more, September 18th and 19th at T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. 2 nights, 1 stage. Now's your chance to buy tickets at AXS.com. Get them now before they sell out.
We're going to hear from, of all people, Luke Cornett. I wasn't familiar with your game, backup center for the Spurs.
Oh, that's so good.
Incredible pitch to LeBron. We'll hear from him in a moment. But you and I are both also watching the pre-ESPYs coverage, as in the ESPYs red carpet coverage on ESPN. You made me aware you've attended multiple ESPYs.
I think I've gone to 2.
That's multiple.
Yeah.
That would be...
Yeah, back in the day when, obviously I was up in Los Angeles, ESPN LA, it was across, not even across the street. Like I can, from our conference room, I don't have to throw a football very far to hit hit the Nokia, I don't know what it's called now, maybe theater. Microsoft Theater, something like that. So yeah, I've gone to a couple. It's cool. It's fun.
Why didn't you invite me?
I reached out to you. This was probably about 13, 14 years ago. I think I reached out to you because I think at that time, where were you?
I was in Allentown, Pennsylvania.
That's where I thought.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, let me see if he's available.
You got my number?
I didn't have your number, but I knew someone that had your number.
You just dialed 10 random digits.
But it's one of those events where it's like cool to go to the first time.
Oh, I got you. Not as much the next?
Not as much, but like, I'm good. I got it. Again, it was ESPN, so it was right there.
But you would have seen like the who's
we took clients there. Oh yeah,
like
back
a
in the day.
LeBron James type, right? No. Like big name stars because it's ESPN.
There was a cool. This is something that ESPN would do after the event. I'm sure there was a lot of different like post parties you can go to, but ESPN did one as well. They did it at, I think it's the Marriott that's right there. Lauryn Hill performed one year.
Oh wow.
Was it Snoop that performed another year? But like they had just like really, really cool performances in the small, intimate action. And the only thing that really mattered in the post party, you can eat and drink as much as you want, which is always a good thing.
Who was the host when you went?
I want to say Peyton. If I'm right, I think it was Peyton.
Okay.
This year it's Marcelo Hernandez from Saturday Night Live.
He's funny.
He's good. Too. Yeah, he's pretty funny.
Yeah, he's good.
You and I were just talking about this off air.
I went to a stand-up where he was. He's good. Yeah.
I'm amazed that the ESPYs have lasted this long.
I'm with you.
This is what, 2 decades?
Brother, I'm with you.
It's kind of amazing that it's become a staple of the Wednesday after the Major League All-Star game.
Just me, or is it like the first time in ESPN's history where they got like some real threats out there?
What do you mean by that?
Think of Netflix. Think like ESPN is built on live play-by-play.
Absolutely.
Think of, and we don't consume it the way we used to. When I was a kid and you were watching SportsCenter, I don't consume it the way I do, right? Yep. But now you like just little things. You can look at how much did Amazon Prime have in the NBA this year? They had a ton this year. And it's like 5 years ago, you would have never thought of that competition for ESPN. How much, even a small thing like the Home Run Derby being on Netflix, we were talking about, we're like, how many years was that on there?
30 on ESPN. Fox
obviously owns soccer. Like, I feel like it's the first time where ESPN's probably getting a little bit of like, wait a minute, you know what I think's next? And if any of these, the Netflix, the Primes, any of these, I'm not surprised they start throwing those chips into the college football bucket. I think there's, obviously
streamers. Apple tried to go after the Pac-12 before it initially, went by the wayside.
I almost feel like Apple's not in the game like some of these other ones.
But do you think
if you told me like an Amazon Prime's like, hey, when that SEC deal is done, we're coming for that.
So do you feel like this is the first time in our lifetimes that ESPN is no longer like, as we sit here today, does ESPN remain the dominant player bar none in American sports or sports fandom, or no? Because look, Fox has Big Ten rights. Fox has NFL rights beyond ESPN's. Fox has World Cup rights.
I think the biggest difference from when we were growing up, you felt like everything ran through ESPN.
Everything.
Now there's 5 or 6 of them competing now.
I actually prefer the old way. I don't like having to go to 6, 7 outlets to find something I used to find in 1 or 2.
But I don't have an issue with ESPN not being the big player anymore.
No, I'm with you on that.
As in, I can now, it's not just one network that's going to completely dictate where all these sports are. It's like, yeah, I can get Jamal Crawford on an NBA game with Reggie Miller and it's not on ESPN. But I could get, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. Okay, but hear me out real quick. Let's say you grew up a Lakers fan. Let's say you grew up a Padres fan. And like by and large, you'd watch the Padres on either local television or more recently like Bally Sports San Diego or now Padres.tv. Or let's say you're a Lakers fan. You're watching on those regional networks in LA. Name the network that
Spectrum Sports.
Okay, so that's played out for a long period of time. I don't like how it's then been piecemealed out. Like I used to just watch my 160 Padres games in one place, but now it's 4 on Apple TV and it's 2 on Roku and it's 2 on Peacock. That's the thing that has really frustrated me as a sports fan.
Yeah.
That they take some of it away where all I want to do is know where I can do it, where I watch it. I want to watch it as the
Our
fan.
bigger issue is we don't have a local broadcast.
Well, that's
our bigger issue. Our bigger issue is we don't have an established network that's carrying the San Diego Padres.
It's online.
That's our bigger issue. I don't mind as much. Hey, this game's on Apple or this game's on Roku or this game's. I'll tell you the only reason why I don't mind that is because if that exposes the Padres to a different audience, I'm okay with that from that perspective. So the more nationally televised games they get, I want to see
the better.
I want to see it just for them and their brand, but I know that part is a nuisance.
But
that part's a nuisance with everyone right now trying to stream.
I know. You're 100% right. It's just changed. All right, we'll get to the wrap on the other side. We'll hear what Luke Cornett had to pitch to LeBron James coming up in the 4 o'clock hour as well. And Adrian Garcia-Marquez, the voice of SDFC, on the World Cup final coming up this weekend. You can hear it on 760. It is now set. Spain and Argentina at MetLife in New York. Hour 2, Schaefer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app.
The support is sponsored by rockauto.com. The Padres are off due to the All-Star break. They'll get back at it on Friday when they start a weekend road trip at Kansas City to take on the Royals. World Cup, we had one final from earlier. In the semifinals, Argentina defeated England 2-1. They're going to move on to face Spain on Sunday in the final, which you can hear right here on San Diego Sports 760 beginning at 11:30. A failed strut can turn any drive into a rough ride. When it's time for repairs, Rock Auto makes finding the right part easy. Shop name brands at lower prices and have parts shipped directly to your door. All the parts your car will ever need, Rock Auto.
All right, hour 2 here on San Diego Sports 760 with Adrian Garcia-Marquez. Alan joining us in 30 minutes.
Oh, that's the guy. That's the guy to go to if you want some World Cup soccer talk.
Voice of SDFC.
Yes, sir.
We know the final, Spain, Argentina.
Yes, sir.
It was 4 years ago.
Him and Darren, phenomenal duo there on SDFC's broadcast.
They should be calling the World Cup final.
I'm listening.
Yeah. Well, we'll have it for you right here.
Yeah.
On 760 on Sunday. Again, Argentina and Spain, 4 years after Argentina and France, an absolute thriller in the final 4 years ago. I have no idea if he can live up to that. But we have it for you right here on 760. Adrian Garcia-Marquez will join us at 4:30. You're going to hear from Luke Cornett, of all people. He has made a pitch to LeBron James. And you will hear it coming
Pretty
up in
convincing
about 10
one,
minutes.
if you ask me.
If he goes to the Spurs, you now know why.
Yep.
But
I want to go play for the Spurs
after
now.
listening to that. But right now, let's get to this.
It's time for the wrap. Presented by Sombrero Mexican Food. Check out their website at sombreromex.com.
Who's going to win the World Cup?
Do we bet against Argentina? I mean,
your own peril.
On paper, it feels like it should be Spain. The way they dominated France yesterday, 2-0. How many different games now has Argentina been in?
7.
Could have lost to Cape Verde. Could have lost to Egypt.
Yeah.
Could have lost to Switzerland.
Right.
And could have lost to England. Their last 4 matches have all kind of been heroic here towards the end. Do you just kind of ride that out? It doesn't matter how you win as long as you do win. They truly have the heart of a champion. I'll roll the dice here. I think Spain's better, but I think Argentina wins. I'm going to take Argentina.
All right, listen to this. This is up right now.
Odds?
Spain minus 154, an implied probability of 60.6% chance of winning.
Okay.
Argentina,
not a lot.
Plus
that's not crazy.
134, but I agree it's not crazy. But Argentina, to your point, is the defending champs and is back in this spot. I mean, the fact that they are dogs, maybe not significant dogs, but have a 40% chance of winning as opposed to a 60% chance of winning. Maybe that speaks to what Spain has done. They've just been dominant, allowing 1 goal, beating France 2-0 the other day. They got the extra day of rest as well.
Do you want the get-in price?
I already know because I got tickets.
Did you already look? Did you end up buying the 12 that you said you wanted to buy 12 tickets? Just so you can sit, you have more space, more leg room?
Well, real quick, I'm taking Spain. You're taking Argentina. What's our bet? 50 grand.
You want to go 50? What's wrong?
Yeah, I don't want to go
so
big.
low?
I don't want to go big.
All right. Price to get in for the third place game. What do you think it is?
$20.
$1,009. Price to get in Spain versus.
Who's paying that?
I mean, you still get. Listen, if it's France, England.
But are we going to see those players?
That's the question.
That's my question.
Put it this way. If it's Mbappe and Harry Kane and.
But you said the other day there was like 1,500 or 1,800.
Yeah.
And now it's 1,000. And I wonder what the get in is.
All right, Spain, Argentina. What is it to get in at the famous New Jersey MetLife Stadium, who's so known for carrying all these unbelievable soccer events?
$39.09.
What?
Ticket. $3,909.
How?
Is that right?
No.
That's too low.
7,800 to get in.
7,800?
Of course, it's the finals. Messi's in the
You're
final.
acting like it's a must-win game.
I'm actually surprised it's not higher.
70. What'd you say? 70 what?
78.
That's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money, but it's
who has that money?
It's the World Cup final.
Alan, how much is that for 2? What's 78 times 2? 15.6.
Yep.
You could buy a
just went up.
Car.
85.93. That's now the lowest.
$17K for 2.
I think those tickets went. The ones I was looking at earlier. 85.93 a ticket if you want to buy 2 tickets.
I'd rather go to Fanatics Fest.
Brent?
No,
not going. I was going to go with Brent.
I'm not paying. Nobody's paying. In fact, everyone's paying that.
Yeah, everyone's paying.
But I'm not paying that. Next question.
You guys watch the third place game Saturday, which you can hear right here at 1:30.
I will watch the game. I will.
Okay.
I'm kind of sad here. This is it. It's the final weekend of the World Cup. Yeah. It's been phenomenal. Really enjoyed it. I'm kind of a little bummed out that it's going to end. I wonder what's the ripple effect this can have on the MLS and how we can just kind of go from that and say, all right, well, if I'm into soccer, let's keep watching some soccer through the summer. Obviously, MLS, SCFC starts again. I'll watch Saturday because I'm bummed this thing's about to end. And I'm actually kind of a little curious here. Do they care? Like, what is Mbappe playing?
Like? Yeah.
Are some of these other stars playing, or are they not?
It does feel like maybe MLS could have put more attention on themselves over the course of the last 5 or 6 weeks. For example, Major League Soccer returns tomorrow. There are 4 matches tomorrow and then 2 on Friday, including the Galaxy and LAFC. SDFC is still a week out. The question about the third place match, I'm in. It's France and England. It's a great rivalry. And there's a chance, I'm sure, to be a very good match. Now, what's truly on the line, I don't know. I don't know the difference.
I don't know what happens here. Maybe it's a good question we could ask Adrian, but is this one of those like, no, there's a pride in getting third place. There's a pride in the world rankings that you're top 3. I have no idea how it works.
Neither do I. I'll be watching.
All
Next
right.
question.
Did you find the All-Star game entertaining?
Well,
after the first inning.
Well, we are here. Remember, they waited. I think they said first pitch was going to be at 5, so of course it was at 5:29.
Yeah,
5:30. But we sat here, and as we were watching the game, I want to say Christopher Sanchez gave up 3 runs in the first. Right, first inning. I left. I went home. Actually, went to my mom's yesterday and had some dinner there. I put the game on, and I'm sitting just watching this game. Like, what am I watching? I watched nothing for about 4 or 5 innings, so I didn't think it was very entertaining. Were you entertained by it?
Not at all.
Yeah.
I really wasn't. And some of the stuff that they put on with, I don't know, they did different like skits throughout the course of the game. I think they got some fairly high marks, but I'm not there for that. I really am not. Like the National League struck out 15 times.
Unbelievable.
15 of their 27 outs were via the strikeout. They didn't score in the entire game. I told you, I went to a game in Pittsburgh a number of years ago. I think A-Rod was the MVP in a 2-1 American League win. I thought the thing was like watching paint dry. Same thing here.
Yeah.
The difference with baseball to these other sports is these pitchers are so good. They care. No pitcher's going up there throwing the ball underhand and saying, go
Such
hit
a good
it.
point.
So the pitching is so dominant.
And it's easy to compete if you're in an MLB game than you are in an NBA game.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I think if you told me, actually, the way you explained it to me yesterday, you're like, look, a pitcher's going to go out there. He's only going to be in there for an inning anyways.
They're going max effort.
He's going to give it everything he's got. He doesn't want to be giving up 4 or 5 runs. I wish there was, when you put it that way yesterday, I'm like, yeah, I wish the NBA had a little bit more pride in that. It's like, yeah, I don't want to get scored on and have our squad give up 180, which is literally what they do. It was a good comp. It was a good example.
What they should do in the future. You can name all-star pitchers, but allow the worst pitchers in the sport to pitch to the best hitters in the sport. So have the worst pitchers against the best hitters in the All-Star game, and then you'll have offense. But when you have guys with this kind of stuff, again, what was the total yesterday? It probably was a low total, and there were 4 runs scored in the game. Next question.
Are you sick of LeBron news?
I'm not. I'll tell you why. Because if we didn't have LeBron news, we wouldn't get Luke Cornett, which we have promoted on this show. I think we promoted Luke Cornett more than the World Cup games on Saturday and Sunday.
That's because Luke Cornett's coming on the show. Saturday and Sunday.
Am I sick of the LeBron news? Of course I am. I've been mocking it for the past 1 week. I mean, we were mocking it. Brent and I got to break the whole voice memo thing that came out last week when The moment I heard that from Shams, I'm like, Shams, what is this report? What are we talking about? So, of course, I'm annoyed by it. And it's still, we're mid-July, and he still hasn't said it.
He announced his plans to play elsewhere June 30th.
Right before free agency started, so he could be the headline
days
of free agency.
I now am firmly in the camp that he will make this announcement tomorrow at Fanatics Fest in
Friday.
New York City. Either of the days, whenever he appears in front of the media or with the largest contingent of fans and New Yorkers in front of him, I think it's all scripted beautifully by Topps and Fanatic and LeBron James's camp and Clutch Sports. That's my guess. Now, years ago when he went to LA, remember he kind of learned from the Boys and Girls Club and he just said, I'll be playing for the Lakers. And there was that like little press release that says like, I'm going to play for the Lakers. I think now 8 years later, this is about like max media coverage. That's what it feels like to me.
Topps is getting that card ready for Thursday in a brand new uniform.
There'll be a Topps Now card.
Okay.
Him on stage.
I could be sold on that.
So that's my guess. But it will eventually come to an end.
Is Fanatics, like, do they have the most money in the world? What's going on with Fanatics?
Have you seen this event over the last 2 or 3 years in New York? Seriously, the Fanatics Fest? It's unbelievable.
I just opened up Fanatics. Who's the first athlete that's on there?
LeBron?
Give me another one.
Victor Wembanyama.
Nope.
Jalen Brunson.
Nope.
Mbappe.
It's a great guess.
But he's in.
No.
Messi?
Freaking Messi.
No way. He can't be appearing, is he?
I don't. He's just.
He could be.
No, he's just. No, I'm not saying he's appearing anywhere, but I just went to Fanatics. Just went to the website. You know, you were telling me off air, you're like, these guys are they got LeBron there. They got Wemby there. KD news last year. And I just went to Fanatics. It's Messi.
I'm pretty sure.
They have every. Sheesh, man.
I'm pretty sure the Fanatics owner, and I could be wrong. I'm going to look it up right now. I'm pretty Michael Rubin. Did I go to high school with him? I'm throwing that out in my head. I don't know.
What's going on at Lower Merion?
There's a lot. I don't know if he went to Lower Merion. He might have gone to Harriton, which is the other school in like my district where I grew up. I could be dead wrong. He may be from like LA. I'm going to look it up. But in my head, I'm like, Michael Rubin.
I'm going to throw that out there too. I might have gone to high school with him too at Granite Hills High School in El Cajon.
He was from El Cajon.
Yeah.
What a success story.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but it could have happened.
It could be a complete
You're throwing high schools out there. I'm throwing out high schools. Let's go Eagles.
Let's hear from Luke Cornett on the other side, his pitch via voice memo to LeBron James. Plus, Adrian Garcia-Marquez, the voice of SDFC, with the World Cup final set. He'll join us at 4:30 on Jay Prince-Lee with San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, San Diego Sports 760. Adrian Garcia-Marquez, by the way, was on the call of the All-Star game yesterday as well.
Of course he was.
And he's going to join us coming up at 4:30. Looking forward to that. Do we want to hear from Luke Cornett?
Yes. It is now time to dedicate some of our time here
to Spurs backup center
Luke Cornett,
who had some moments, by the way, in the postseason.
He did. He had that block.
Some massive moments.
Was a block against the Oklahoma City Thunder? Was that Cornett?
Yes.
Yeah. It was
the rebound.
LeBron.
Yeah.
That's right.
It was huge.
Yeah.
So as we know, everyone's doing the voice memo game with LeBron.
I don't know if everybody's doing the voice memo game.
Maybe not everyone,
but it's been reported that you're allowed to send him a voice memo through Clutch to see if it potentially gets to him as a pitch. So Luke Cornett said, hey, I'm Luke Cornett. I'm one of the most respected players in the NBA.
That's true.
I'm a household name. Everybody knows who I am and what I've done for this league. Why don't I send him a voice note?
This is what it sounds like.
Hey, LeBron, Mr. James. LeBron. It's Luke Cornett, number 7 of the San Antonio Spurs. You yelled at me a little bit last year. Anywho, I just wanted to, kind of extend the invitation to come over here to San Antonio. We got a great thing going. A lot of young talent, it's an easy place to live, tax-free, that's always something. You can play alongside, a generational player, and Victor too. But anyways, SeaWorld, La Panaderia, if it's hitting, bussin'.
Was happy
hitting, bussin'. I think you'd love it. We have a guest room available if you need some time to kind of figure things out on your end. We'd be open our doors. Also, a great place for kids, which I don't know, what age or how many. I know how old one of your kids is. 450 and all. But you should just come swing on by, try it out. I'd love to have you. I think it could be a swell old time. You're chasing number 5, and we've got 5, so looking for number 6 for us. So we're kind of all in the same ballpark. I meant to ask, my agent, he said that he sent it to you, but I don't know if it got lost in translation or something because never really got it back. But if you could just we'll first find it, probably then signed it and send it back. I'd really appreciate that. Really, that was on a personal note, kind of apart from the pitch, but yeah.
That is incredible.
I don't know what the hell that was.
Imagine if he went to the Spurs.
I'm telling you right now, based off of that, either he has intel that he's 100%. Like, imagine if the Spurs organization thought they had a shot at LeBron.
What would they say after that?
And then they heard Luke Cornett just throw this out. They would be like, you
bro,
idiot. You are ruining any shot that we had. I love his sense of humor. That was cool. It's cool of him to do it. What'd be awesome is if you start getting more NBA players who are not really well known giving their pitch to LeBron. I think that's pretty funny.
I will say this. I mean, he's not going to San Antonio. I would assume. It doesn't sound like the reporting suggests he is. I don't want him going to San Antonio, and I'll explain why. It almost seems too easy. I mean, they were already right there. They were favored to win the finals when they were in it. They laid the egg. But it's like they're set up. Like, you got to make it a little harder than that, in my opinion.
I don't think you have to.
No.
They didn't win.
Hey, Victor Wembanyama. Have you seen him?
Pretty good player.
He's very good.
He got shut out in a lot of these second halves against the New York Knicks.
He wasn't good in the final. What would you say if he went to the Knicks? LeBron.
It just wouldn't make sense at this point. Like, it wouldn't make sense.
Off the finals.
Yeah, they won an NBA championship. So I think if you're looking at LeBron and he's, again, there's this side of it. It's like, all right, he ends up with the Golden State Warriors. Everybody's going to say that's going to be a little bit more video gamey, but I don't think anybody's going to think that the Golden State Warriors are a real threat to take out the Thunder or the Spurs.
That's what I like. I want him going somewhere where it's not like, oh, you just went to like the softest landing spot. Because And I guess that's fair. That's free agency. But it's like the perception is we're not going to win in LA right now, right? Because you're blocked by OKC, San Antonio.
I don't think that's the perception. I think I think in LA it was more they want to move on and churn the chapter, and you don't have a shot at winning a championship. That is part of it. I'm not ignoring that.
So I get he wants to get to a place where it's easier to win a championship. I just don't want him to go to the top of the line. Does that make sense? I want to see him go somewhere where they don't win, and then you take them to those heights. Philadelphia hasn't won since when? Moses Malone.
But isn't Philadelphia a? Can I make the argument that the Sixers are kind of stacked?
Yeah, but they're not San Antonio, are they?
No, they're not San Antonio.
So I feel like they're a little further down in the pecking order.
But Philly, would you agree with this, Brent? If he went to the Philadelphia 76ers, I think Philly has as good of a shot as anybody in the Eastern Conference to come out of the East.
I think they would be the number 1 seed, honestly, if he goes to Philly.
But I think if he goes to San Antonio, they'd be the number 1 seed.
Right,
and they were just there. So you think it's easier for the Sixers to win a title with LeBron than
no?
The Spurs?
It has more to do is because the Sixers just got Jaylen Brown.
Yeah,
that's what it has to do with, right? So I think it's more to do with how the Sixers offseason just went.
That makes sense.
They just got Jaylen Brown. They got 2 really young, exciting players. Right. They got Joel Embiid. Obviously, if he's healthy, I know that's always a question, but I get the point.
I almost want him to go somewhere where it's like hard. Like I want it to make sense.
In his 24th season in the NBA.
I know. Well,
like
Cleveland.
I think there are certain players when they're like I hated KD going to the Golden State Warriors. I hated that.
Yes.
And I hated that for many reasons. But KD was also in the absolute prime of his basketball career, and the Golden State Warriors were coming off of winning championships together.
Right.
That's different.
That's a good point. No,
this is like, it's a bad example. It's like, I don't know, Albert Pujols at the end of his career. It's like this is literally somebody at the absolute end of his career.
But here's just hear me out for 1 second because it doesn't make sense what I'm saying, but I just want to put it in these terms. It's like, you're already really good at video games. Why are you playing the game on like the easy level? There's my analogy. Like, he's already really good. I don't want it to just be the perfect fit in the puzzle. I want there to be friction, adversity. Maybe that's not fair. I just feel like, I don't know.
That sounded more like the LeBron argument when he was joining the Heat back in the day.
Correct. I felt that way.
Chris Bosh and Dwayne Wade.
A lot of people rooted against him.
This is, what year did he join the Heat? Probably 12, 11, something like that.
I don't even know. He was
My
young.
point is that it was like 15 years ago.
Oh, yeah. Long time ago.
And here he is still in the league, picking a new team, hijacking the offseason.
I know.
Hijacking free agency. I saw Tyrese Halliburton put this out. You see his tweet?
What did he say?
Tyrese Halliburton's tweet. Tomorrow, it's time at King James.
Wow. Fanatics Fest.
I think he's there, and I think they're both hosting Mind the Game in place of Steve Nash.
Dude, it is ridiculous.
But that just adds to the speculation, if you want to call it.
No doubt. All right, Adrian Garcia-Marquez gets us ready for the World Cup final, which you can hear on 760. Well, join us next, the voice of SDFC, right here on Schaefer and Slee with San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app.
This report is sponsored by rockauto.com. Padres are off today due to the All-Star break. They will be back at it beginning on Friday when they go to Kansas City to start a weekend set against the Royals. World Cup with semifinal from earlier today. Argentina defeated England 2-1. They're going to move on to face Spain in the final, which you can hear right here on San Diego Sports 760 on Sunday, beginning at 11:30. Grinding and squealing is signs it's time for new brakes. Skip the hassle of searching for the right parts and shop rockauto.com. Find trusted name brand parts at lower prices and have them shipped directly to your door. All the parts your car will ever need, Rock Auto.
All right, what theater the World Cup has provided this summer throughout the world, and we saw another just brilliant display this afternoon. Argentina over England, as Brent just told you, and Adrian Garcia-Marquez, great soccer voice with us right now. Of course, the voice of SDFC. You hear them right here on 760. He's back with us on Schaefer and Sliwa. It's Argentina and Spain. Let's start with what we saw this afternoon, Adrian, and we appreciate you hopping on. How impressive was it? Once again, Argentina in come from behind fashion. What was it like from your seat?
Well, first and foremost, man, thanks for having me, and always a pleasure to talk to you guys into America's finest city. And I don't know, it was great. It was fun to watch and all, but I mean, it's been this way right throughout the World Cup with Argentina, with everything that's gone on, and now the talk of Enzo minute 3. Should he have been taken out of the game? He ends up, cracking it and winning it. So there's just always something, I guess, with Argentina. But in the end here, it's kind of it's strange, guys. I know you picture where Leo Messi is bathing a baby for a UNICEF promotion, and it happens to be Lamine Yamal 19 years ago, and now they're going to face each other on Sunday. And when you look at fight styles, I mean, on that end, we couldn't ask for anything more. Both teams want the ball. Both teams are reacting. They're not waiting to counter. They're going to go and attack constantly. So it's going to be a heck of a show on Sunday. So in the end, I feel like England. I don't know. I think weren't you guys maybe thinking the same thing? What was Tuchel kind of thinking? I don't like to question managers ever. I was never a manager. I never played at that level, so I'll never question a manager, and especially at a World Cup level. Tactics but Tuchel, it felt like England was just way too defensive for my money, guys. In the end, and Argentina kept coming, and Argentina took it. Plain and simple.
Yeah, Adrian, we were talking about, just to hit off of that. We were making this argument a little bit earlier. I started giving, comps in the NFL. It's like you go up 10, and what happens? All of a sudden, the team it's prevent defense.
Oh, prevent defense.
You're not trying to kind of step on the throat of your opponent. And here's the worst thing for England. And I said this a little bit earlier. Maybe you can have that tactic. Maybe it's against Mexico. Obviously, they had a red card, so they went completely defensive. I understood. I think there was more of a justification for it. But you're playing the champs and you're playing Messi. If you think with 35, 40 minutes left to go in the match, you're okay with playing prevent, I'm with you. It didn't make any sense to me. They played not to lose.
Yeah, it just felt a little off. It felt as if they throttled back a little bit in Argentina. You give them an opportunity, and look, they're going to pounce. This is, again, you said it, they're the world champion, number 1 ranked in the world, and they're going to take it from you, and they're going to fight tooth and nail. You saw it from the beginning; it was a physical matchup, and Argentina rises again, and now they face Spain on Sunday. End of story. England had a chance and could have put us. Conversations are going to continue again, and it's unfortunate in the end for all of those that were rooting for England, and fans that were kind of, because of all of the things that have surrounded Argentina, the different clouds. I know a lot of the world was rooting against them, and they will continue to root against them on Sunday in Spain. Yeah, football is football, and it's going to be a beautiful show on Sunday.
Adrian Garcia-Marquez with us right now, the voice of SDFC. Of course, you can hear him with Darren Smith as the second half of the season gets back underway. So you've alluded to it. The styles make fights, and the matchup itself. I mean, just looking at these scores, Argentina, I think I've done this right, has scored 19 goals in this World Cup. They've had 2 or more goals in every match they've played. And then you have Spain. They've allowed 1 goal in the World Cup. So stylistically, what are we going to see come Sunday?
You're going to see 2 teams that are going to want to dictate terms constantly for 90 plus minutes. and it's going to be fun to watch. I don't see either side backing down. This is a true heavyweight fight, guys. Guys are just going to and throw blows, and it's going to down to a knockout in the end. And usually it's those players that make a difference. Leo Messi, maybe Adrian Yamal. And, I kind of like Spain's chances, to be honest with you. I think in the sense, we can't take anything away from England and what happened today. They did have a tougher route to get to this point in the World Cup. Argentina has kind of built up slowly. Sunday, though, it's for all the marbles, no more excuses. And España is playing as good as any team has ever been playing going into a final. They're feeling that they're excellent, like you said, in goal, the way that they're defending, but more than anything else, the way they work the possession. It's beautiful football, and both sides pretty much practice that same style. They're going to go for the knockout, and it's going to be fun to watch. The fans are going to win.
Adrian, I want to go back just real quick, just get your thoughts. Yesterday's game, France and Spain, did Spain sneak up on you at all? I know a lot of the conversation, how much France was dominating. Mbappe, obviously one of the faces of the sport as well. How surprised were you that this is the final? How surprised were you that France doesn't make it to the final match on Sunday?
You know what? Not surprised at all. We know what España has done, what they've accomplished, in Europe and España. Maybe they were the ones that kind of came out a little bit kind of like, oh, should we get into this yet? Or would they start? And then they started to catch their flow. And once they got into their group, look at the way that they're playing, look at the way that he's just cracking the machine that's humming, and honestly, I think España has it. They're peaking at the right time. It's like, you talked about the NFL, making that comparison. Team that gets hot right as the playoffs are getting started, starts feeling it. But that's where Spain's going to be trouble.
We're having some issues, Adrian. We're having some issues with your phone connection.
Try to reconnect with him. Yeah,
right. See if we can connect with Adrian for a second, and if we can get him in a better spot. Cell service, What can you do about it?
I think that what he's saying. I like that comp of it's almost Spain. You make them one of those teams where it's like the NFL comp. You don't have to be the best team. They always say you just got to be the healthiest and the hottest at the right time.
Right.
And if he's making that comp to Spain, it's like they had this scare early on, and then everybody's like, maybe Spain's not that good. Remember they had it with, I think, Cape Verde?
Yeah, it was scoreless. Their first
scoreless,
match.
right?
What is this?
And then just quietly, while all the attention is on all these other countries,
like
England was loud, Mexico was loud,
Argentina's
the attention on
comebacks.
America, France, USA. There was attention, and Spain was just like, yeah, we're good. We'll stay in the background. And then yesterday, they kind of slapped France across the face.
You know what's crazy? They've been doing this thing for 100 years. Literally, the World Cup, the 100th anniversary of it is in 2030. This sport is dominated by Europe and South America. No one's ever won from North America. No one's ever won from Africa. No one's ever won from Asia. I like the South America versus Europe final. Right, because we were very close to 2 European nations. You get that in the off 2 years. You get that in the Euros. So this could just be a Euro final. But the fact that you get a South American country in Argentina against a European power in Spain.
Same last year, right?
Yeah, it's the last time around. Exactly. It was the exact same. I prefer that. At some point, I would like to see like an African nation break through. I'd like to see like the U.S. break through.
Well, that's that. And maybe that kind of opens up. I know they're not doing it for this, but the more countries you allow in, and if they do expand the World Cup, the more chances you have for something kind of random to happen.
Yeah.
Now, we'll see if that obviously goes into play.
We've got Adrian Garcia-Marquez back with us, and we appreciate you taking a few minutes for us. We were asking this earlier just because we don't have a feel for it, Adrian. So if you could put it in perspective, what is the value of the third place match, if any? Obviously, they've held it for forever in the World Cup. What is on the line, if anything, when France meets England this Saturday?
You know what? It kind of feels like it's a game no one wants to play, guys. In the end, that's what it is. It's just, it comes down to an exhibition. Now guys are probably, now we're back to talking the NFL. It becomes the pro. It's just, guys are going to go out there. They're going to play for pride, play for country, but the edge probably won't be there. Maybe, you have a little something. It's just going to depend on the teams, to be honest. And we've seen it sometimes. There's heart. Sometimes guys are just kind of going through professional motions just to give the fans one last send up as a thank you for the support during a World Cup. And in this case, it's disappointing for both France and England. And you look at, when we're talking about just France itself, the way that they were looking going into that match against Spain, Spain just really was well prepared. And they, this is also the point where keepers make a difference. When Simon is having possibly under the three pipes the best World Cup of any keeper, and Jordan Pickford was looking really good, and he had a tough time, and today just not one got by him. But that's what it's come down to. So in the end, I think the Saturday, the third place game, not much on it. It's just for pride and as a thank you to the countries and to the fan bases that follow.
Adrian, I got like 14 questions for you. I got to figure out which one I want to ask you. Let me
ask all 14. I got plenty of time. And sorry,
I know.
I'm here in New York, and as you guys know, New York, the building sometimes signals will go off, but I think we're good now.
No, it's all good. Okay, let me ask you this one. I you've been around. You've watched from a sports perspective. You think of all the greats that you've got a chance to just watch, and maybe some that are more historic where you didn't get a chance to watch them and they weren't in our generation, but you respect the ones that have been around the game. What's Messi to you? You watch Messi and you're seeing what he's accomplishing right now, and you're seeing just what a legend he is in front of everybody's eyes. What is Messi to you as you sit here and he's going to get a chance to potentially go back-to-back in a World Cup on top of everything else he's achieved?
Definitely one of the three greatest of all time, but I am not one of those that anoint him as the greatest player of all time. To me, from my eyes and from what I've seen with Diego Armando Maradona, I think Maradona is the greatest we've ever seen play the game. And then you can make arguments, Messi, some people are going to, say Cristiano Ronaldo. I mentioned other players, but for me, it's 1A, 1B. 1A definitely is Diego Armando Maradona. But Messi, what he's meant to the sport, look what he's done for MLS, guys. The attraction, arriving in Miami, David Beckham, stroke of genius, to be able to do that and lure him. Yes, there's been some controversies. Yes, there's been some, but everybody needs a Darth Vader, right? There's got to be a villain in the story, and I think he loves it. I think he thrives in it at the MLS to have that attention. But in the end, Leo Messi has put a body of work that, is unmatched, with his peers. So Messi, with this generation, the greatest of this group, for my money, it'll still be Diego Armando Maradona.
Adrian, real quick before you go, SDFC back in action in 10 days now at Snapdragon Stadium. Do I have that right? Or no, they play Colorado.
They got a week. Yep.
Colorado on the road, and then 10 days at Snapdragon Stadium against Dallas. What are your expectations for SDFC in the second half?
We're going to come out of the gate flying like bats out of hell, boys. It feels that way. I've been out at camp. I had a nice conversation with Tyler a week and a half ago, just kind of discussing what the plan of attack is when it comes to the roster, the moves that they're looking to make, how they're trying to improve. This team is not going to keep, the hands at their sides. They're going to fight. They're going to get back into this, and we expect a great second half for San Diego FC. All the guys are back. They're going to be ready. We'll start bringing in some reinforcements. You already saw a little bit, but there's more. There's more on the way. There's away, and there are plenty of ideas, and this team is definitely ready for a comeback. And don't sleep on San Diego FC. We're going to make a move, and it's going to happen right there. Out of the first 2-3 games, we're going to see it.
And you're going to hear all of it right here on San Diego Sports 760 with Adrian and Darren Smith on the calls. Adrian, safe travels, my friend, and thanks for hopping on in San Diego.
Thank you. Hey, I have a quick question for you guys. Were you guys bored during the All-Star game last night?
Oh, my gosh, you called it, right? That was paint drying.
Unfortunately, but I'm not asking you to buy board. You did the game board. It was like lowest output in hits since, 1990, guys? It was kind of rough, but it was fun. I got to tell you, the Sandlot vibe, the whole thing, Philadelphia, All-Star game. It was great. It was great, but yes, I just had that curiosity if you guys got bored.
I found it boring.
I'm sure you made it entertaining.
Yeah,
but,
you made it entertaining, but man,
the bats did not, especially in the NL.
I need to hear your 15 strikeout calls of National League hitters. A lot of strikeouts.
Yeah, we had a night yelling out Cientate, let me tell you. But we had fun. It was still, it was something. But the second half, guys, I think the Padres are couple moves away. Who knows? Are they going to sell? Are they going to buy? I'll leave that up to you guys. But I think that the best is yet to come in the second half in baseball, and the Padres, I think, are going to be in the middle of it.
Adrian, appreciate you, my friend.
You guys take care.
Thank you, brother.
Adrian Garcia-Marquez from New York City. All right, if you missed Kevin Acee speaking of the Padres at the deadline, you'll hear it at 5 p.m. Plus, what Adam Silver, NBA commissioner, had to say within the last 24 hours about NBA expansion. We're here until 6 p.m. Schaefer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app. DraftKings is live in all 50 states. Yes, that means you, California. The Cup is down to its final matches. One trophy, one champion. DraftKings has you covered for every single one.
The DraftKings app is now live in California, so whether you're catching the early kickoff before work or the late match at the bar, you're in on every minute, every match, every moment, all in one app. Right here in California, the world's biggest stage is in the palm of your hand. New DraftKings customers, sign up with the code SD760. Spend $5, get $200 in total rewards over 21 days. That's code SD760.
In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Event trading offered by DraftKings Predictions, the CFTC registered introducing broker. Trading involves risk of loss. Market availability varies. Eligibility restrictions apply. $50 every 7 days via click to claim, issued in non-withdrawable predictions dollars that expire in 1 year. Ends July 19th. Terms, dkng.co/predictions promo.
All right, San Diego Sports 760, your home for live coverage of the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Get daily match updates from the opening match to the final, July 19th. Hear live play-by-play, the most anticipated games, 2026 World Cup coverage. Lives on San Diego Sports 760. It's been phenomenal to have these on all the broadcasts. You and I were just talking about these last couple of days, especially, too, to have these noon kickoffs to be able to listen on the radio.
I will miss.
I still am upset that these weren't 5 o'clock kicks.
You wanted later kicks.
Yeah. I mean, these games have been just incredible. They've been phenomenal. And this tournament is being carried in the States. But how the hell is anyone at noon going to watch
But
this?
I guess it proves the point that I made earlier was like it's a Europe and South American sport.
I know.
And like if you're going to hold like how many teams were from Europe in the Final Four? 3 of them, right? Mm-hmm. Don't call it the Final Four, but in the semifinals. And how many in the quarters? 7. I think 7. Like look at a map, 7 of the nations you could like drive.
Belgium. Yep.
You know what I mean? They're all within like a few hundred miles. So if you're playing them at 8 Eastern, that's 6 hours later in Europe, by and large. Every match would have, kicked off at 2 a.m.
I get the accommodation, but it's here.
It is literally here. That is interesting. What do you got?
If they kick the game off at 5 o'clock California time, that would be 1 a.m. in London.
Which, by the way, everyone's going to watch. I was going to say it's just inconvenient.
I mean, we do it. We do it when the World Cup's in another part of the world. We've adjusted.
Americans don't have the same passion as those in, let's say, England.
Listen, probably. I'm here to complain that I would like this to be accommodated towards my schedule.
I agree with that. Now, what are we going to get next time? What time's the game
on the World Cup?
What are we going to get when it's in Spain?
What time is the final? Is it again noon?
It's early.
Yeah, you're probably right.
No, I know it is early.
It's noon.
It's noon.
It's 11:30 pregame.
By the way,
but on a Sunday, I'm okay with that.
They have the musical act for the first time ever. They're saying it's going to be limited to about 30 minutes, but they're going to stop the match for 30 plus minutes. There's all types of entertainment for the first time ever, like a Super Bowl.
Justin Bieber.
Yeah.
I think I saw Madonna. Shakira. Oh, they had a promo where I was like, that's all one act?
Right.
That's what happens when you're FIFA and they're okay financially. They're going to be okay financially. They were able to afford a couple of those acts, but very Super Bowl-ish feel to it.
Do you think that's what I was going to say? Good idea or bad idea? Does it need it? More people obviously watch the World Cup in the world than are watching the Super Bowl.
I think good idea. I think good idea
just because entertainment.
You don't have to be an NFL fan that loves the way the AFC and the NFC and this nickel blah 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 defense. You don't have to be that to watch the Super Bowl. And there are a lot of people who watch the Super Bowl that never watch an NFL game all season because of
absolutely
the act and the halftime show and all that. What's left for the World Cup? What's left from them? The only thing left for them is like, all right, can we now start getting some other people that never watch soccer to tune in because of all these acts? You're probably going to have a lot of Americans that would not watch the finals.
That'll watch for the acts.
But they're like, wait, who's performing? Shakira, Justin Bieber, Madonna. Yeah, I'm going to watch.
Knowing everything that we know heading into this weekend, did they pick the right place to host it? New York's MetLife Stadium. It could have been Dallas, Atlanta, Mexico City.
Of course not.
Just picked it because it's New York, New York?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know
it actually would have made more sense if you told me it was in Dallas.
Indoors,
in Texas. What's their stadium hold?
85.
Something like that.
Yep.
No, of course it doesn't make sense.
By the way, they're getting lucky. 86 and sunny.
Of course it doesn't make sense to be in New York. The number one place, if you're going to do it, you're going to host it at any of these 3 countries that are a part of the mixture. Of course, it was Mexico City at the Azteca.
Yeah, the issue there,
easy would have been.
Like Ziegler made the point. It's like when you had the whole event in Mexico in 1786, everyone was at elevation, the entire event. Okay. The issue with bringing Argentina in, if they've been in Miami for 6 weeks, is you're fighting elevation. You're at 8,000 feet. It's like, is it a true representation of what these clubs are capable of if you're playing at 8,000 feet if they haven't been in it all World Cup?
Would have been fine.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think would have been
fine. Personally, I'm not going to sit there and be like,
what's the environment you want it to be in? In Jersey,
in a parking lot,
with our history of soccer, or in Mexico City at the freaking Azteca? It's not a conversation.
I agree. There's already talk about. We mentioned this briefly, right? 2038. Yeah. That's a little ways off, but there's a World Cup in Spain and Morocco in 4 years. Then there's one in Saudi Arabia. And then it could very well be right back in the U.S. and or Canada and or Mexico.
By that point, we'll have 187 countries that are a part of the
211.
Mix here. And FIFA will say, if we can't have the dream of every country to be part of the World Cup, then what are we doing? As probably they are just grabbing.
Do you want to go to a match in Monterey?
Loads of money.
You want to go to Monterey 2038?
Yeah, I would go.
Virgin Islands, U.S. Virgin Islands.
To be honest with you, the environment in soccer is incredible, man. I'd go to anything. That's a bucket list. Go to a European soccer match. I think I got a new team. As soon as this deal closes with the Padres.
Oh, club.
I'm in on the Chelsea. I'm on the Chelsea train.
I like that. I'm in on wherever the star from TJ lands. Gilberto Mora?
If the owner of the San Diego Padres owns an English Premier League team, do we not have our squad? We're good.
Yeah, it's fair. It's a good point. So are you already watching Chelsea?
Not yet.
But you will be this upcoming season. When it kicks off in the next few weeks. All right.
I'll have my team in San Diego, and then I'll have my team.
Mike Usher's yelling at you. He can't believe you're going to be a Chelsea fan. That's
what do you want me? The owner of the Padres is going to be a Chelsea, is part ownership of Chelsea.
What do you want from him?
Does he have a team?
Apparently it's not Chelsea. Oh, it is Chelsea. We said don't do that to yourself, essentially. You don't want that. You don't want that.
Brother, I'm from San Diego, California.
Won, haven't they won before?
Of course they have.
Yeah, they've won before.
And when you're from San Diego,
you'll take anything.
It's not like I have this unbelievable bar that I've set here.
Kevin Acee, your Padres insider, on the other side here until 6 p.m. Schaefer and Slee with San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app.
This report is sponsored by rockauto.com. The Padres are off due to the All-Star break. They'll get back at it on Friday when they start a weekend set in Kansas City to take on the Royals. World Cup, we had one semifinal from earlier today. Argentina defeated England at 2-1. They will move on to face Spain in the finals on Sunday, which you can hear right here on San Diego Sports 760 beginning at 11:30. Grinding and squealing are signs it's time for new brakes. Skip the hassle of searching for the right parts and shop rockauto.com. Find trusted name brand parts at lower prices and have them shipped directly to your door. All the parts your car will ever need. Rock Auto.
All right, final hour here on Schaefer and Sliwa. We do have a giveaway, a 4-pack of tickets to see ZZ Top if you want them. Tell us how you would feel as a Padres fan if Mason Miller were to be dealt at the deadline. Let us know how you would feel on the TalkBack mic. Open up the iHeartRadio app, search for 760, and click that red TalkBack microphone. We had Kevin Acee, Alan, with us earlier. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do remember Kevin Acee.
Remember that. If you missed it, Kevin Acee.
He killed it as always.
He did. You're going to want to hear this. We started with all the media attention on Mason Miller with the trade deadline looming and how he's handling that.
It's hard to imagine like anyone handling it better. Like, as long as I'm not under contract, this will happen. Been through it before. I totally get it. Teams would want to have me. I mean, like, he's not shying away from any aspect of it. I truly believe he wants to be with the Padres. I truly believe that he came here expecting that he was going to be a part of a contender. It was so different from what happened in Oakland/Sacramento for him. And he thought that this was it. He's made some nice relationships. That thing you see up on the board during games, he and Jason Adam, that's real. Like, they're buds. They share certain thoughts and values and all that. I mean, like, he's about to become a father in San Diego, as long as he's not traded before then. Yep. And like, they're like all of it. I can't even, I honestly kind of marvel at it because you've seen a lot of guys go through this. So he's just a straightforward guy.
Kevin, I know it hits storylines, right? When people can say, hey, is Mason Miller going? So we saw something earlier, I think it was in the New York Post, and it's like, Yankees, will they make a run at Mason Miller? I know it gets clicks, everything else, and the Padres are kind of in an interesting situation themselves, so let's not downplay that. But how surprised would you be if dust settles, we get through the trade deadline, and Mason Miller actually got traded? How big of a shock would that be to you?
It's interesting. Okay, so the way you're phrasing it, I'm going to say, I guess I wouldn't be that shocked, but I was fully prepared knowing this would be a topic and just walking in my room here and going, okay, how do I feel about Mason Miller being traded and all the things? Because I'm in the middle of writing, big mid-season story that looks ahead to the trade deadline. And my thoughts are based on talking with people and, history is like, gosh, I just don't know if he's going to get traded because there's a lot up in the air with the CBA. There might be one less year of free agency for him. One less year until free agency for him. And you might not be a 27 season. Plus, how much are people really going to give up for him? Like, there's just a lot going against it. In addition to the fact the Padres could end up deciding to keep him and because they want to try to make a run this year, next year, the year after, whatever. So I don't think there's this great likelihood, but the fact is they are considering it. They're considering all of it. Name me a player and they're probably considering it. And so, if you say, would I be surprised? No, I guess not.
One quick follow-up to that. How common is it where, I'll just use as an example, let's use the Mason Miller piece as an example, where AJ Preller does not have interest in trading him off, but an offer does come right before the deadline, and he almost feels like, hey, there's nothing I can do. Is that, maybe he's not the example that we should be using in this situation, but is that common amongst trade deadlines where, I have no interest in trading somebody, but I just got an offer that I maybe this is a good example of the A's last season with the Padres.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's probably a better example because it sounds like the A's didn't want to, and then they felt like the deal they got was just too good. Like, I think it was the Yankees were in on Mason Miller last year, and then the Padres came in with this like offer. The A's were like, yeah, we got to do that. So that's probably a good example, but this is a good example too. Like when I say they're thinking about it, it's not like they're quote unquote what we would all think of as shopping Mason Miller, from my understanding. Teams know that where the Padres are at and that AJ Preller will do anything, and that the Padres are considering the possibility that they could get something to make them better for the future, or help them build for the future by trading Mason Miller. So it's kind of that situation where it's going to be up to people to make it worth Preller's while to unload Mason Miller.
Kevin Acee is our Padres insider. Do you believe that if they do, quote unquote, go for it, let's say they get out of the break here and they play well enough, they don't have to play perfectly, but we look up in 15 games and they've gone, 10-5 or something like that. Do they have the assets / resources available to kind of fully go for it? I'm not talking about the very top of the market like a Scooble, but some of these other starting pitchers, the Seth Lugos, the Robbie Rays, some of the available position players. Could they complete that task, so to speak, if they wanted to?
They say they can. Now, there's all sorts of things like if it makes sense, within reason. But they say they have the resources, and that's money, to take on a little bit, whatever that is, 1/3 of a team, 1/3 of a guy's salary. Obviously it's got to be a team that's not out of it. And there's like 7 of those right now. There'll probably be 10 to 12 of those by the trade deadline. Maybe 15 of those guys by the trade, 15 of those teams by the trade deadline. But the reality is very few teams fall under the true seller, offloading everybody. And so they say they do. And okay, yes, Leo DeVries was a huge part of it, but that was one of the trades they made last year. They also gave the Orioles an entire draft class, and they made other deals. So the Padres can have the players. They have some young pitchers that teams could take flyers on if they're looking to dump a portion of a salary or whatever. The Padres have the wherewithal. Preller has I don't want to gush too much, but he has the genius, right? He's shown that. He has the ability to make deals that can make the Padres better, along with some resources to spend. Last year, he did it all. Now, DeVries was a big part of this, but also he gave up Bergert and Kolick. That was a part of it. That he did basically a net zero. They did not put any more money by getting all those players at the deadline last year. There was no more 2026, 2025. Payroll did not go up at the trade deadline. That was remarkable. Don't have to do that this year is what I'm told. I don't know what that means. Do they have $6 million? Do they have $8 million? Do they have $2 million? I don't know what they have.
Kevin Acee, our Padres insider, joining us here on the Schaefer and Sliwa show. Kevin, if you look at the second half of the season, is there... Let's take away the trade deadline. Let's take away potential, moving players. What are 1 or 2 things you're most interested in coming up at this final stretch of the season once we get started on Friday?
Musgrove, Pavetta, Jason Adam, as in when do these guys get throwing and what's that progression toward a mid-August return for one or both? When do they come back? Jason Adam, same thing, waiting for that scapula and the shoulder to fully heal. I think he maybe gets out to Arizona next week, I think. So where's that? Where's Jeremiah Estrada? Very mysterious there. And then Jackson Merrill, the guy either goes 2 for 5 or 0 for 5. A little more power. I like his at-bats for the most part. So where does he go? Does Xander Bogaerts finish strong? That would be huge because he has for 3 years, all 3 years with the Padres. I don't, really see the signs of it right now, but hey, it's happened the past 3 years. Tatis, is he So he had 5 homers in the first 96 games. Can he have 5 in the last 66? Because that'd be pretty good. Especially he's hitting an extra base hit every 10 at bats since May 24th. So like, that May 24th, that's the time when Tatis's season kind of took that turn. So like Manny Machado keeps saying it's the guys in here, and he doesn't really believe that. But like, to some extent, sure. Yeah. Like they're not going out and getting Juan Soto, who, by the way, wasn't that great in the last part of 2022 or in the postseason. But like, they're not going out and getting Juan Soto and Josh Bell. So like, it is kind of the guys that are there and how they do.
My final one on Machado and Tatis. I mean, it is crazy. You look up, Machado still has an OPS plus below league average. It's 95. And Tatis has a league average OPS plus 100. So he has been an average major league hitter this year. Would you bet on their second halves being more fruitful than their first halves?
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah. Like if we're going to say they're going to get close to the back of the baseball card, I hate using that phrase, but hey, it gets it across, doesn't it? If we're going to say that, then they would have to. That's remarkable, by the way, because I forget what it was, but they were in the 60s and it wasn't all that long ago.
You're right.
Like that's remarkable. That doesn't mean like, hey, the Padres offense has been better. Still lowest ranked in the league. Like the overall picture is what it is, but like that's remarkable. Also, holy smokes. Like the time they were good is the time the Padres were bad because the pitching, right? Like they can't get anything together. Like, so there's so much that comes out. When you say that to me, I go, because I remember looking like a week ago or something saying, oh yeah, okay, Tatis is there and Manny's getting closer. That's remarkable. Yeah. And like, oh wow, that they've been really good recently in some ways, but the team hasn't been good. The pitching has been horrible. Starting pitching, we all know what I mean. But yeah, the bullpen's been a little under the weather and, hasn't been great. So, man, a lot of problems. Geez, they should just sell.
All right, final one for me, Kevin, just to hit on what you just said, that any optimism that some of these pitchers that the Padres have been using in the starting rotation, any optimism that as the season progresses here, they'll be a little bit more competitive outside of Michael King?
Oh, I hate to say that because I got so much respect for these guys, but like, what's it shown you? I mean, Griffin Cannon's made some strides, but Gossi was terrible. And JP Sears is okay. And Gus, I like Herman Marquez's mentality. He's got a number 1 mentality still, and he might not even be a number 5 anymore. But like, I like the going after it. But like, what is that? So look, they need it. They'll tell you they're going to get a starter maybe if they're buyers, right? They need Musgrove or Pivetta. Both would be a bonus. They need 2 of these other guys. They need Buehler to come back. He's tired, man. And they need Buehler to give him another run. So they need 2 of the guys that we're talking about to perform decently, no matter what. So, I mean,
plus a new starter and plus one of those 2 guys. Yeah, you're right. It's a lot.
There's some things.
I don't have a lot of optimism there, and my optimism doesn't matter. My optimism is based on my discussions in addition to what I see. But, I don't know that there's a whole lot of optimism there either. And when I say there, inside the organization.
Kevin, always appreciate it. Let's catch up Friday from Kansas City.
Well, that's where I am now, so that'll be easy for me.
There you go.
I'll talk to you.
I'll talk to you.
Bye.
All right, again, our Padres insider, Kevin Acee. We went down a path involving the second half. What have been the takeaways from the first half? Some of the biggest moments and the worst moments, and some of the key second half storylines for the Padres. We'll get into it coming up here on Schaefer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760, and live on the iHeartRadio app. DraftKings is live in all 50 states. Yes, that means you, California. The Cup is down to its final matches. One trophy, one champion. DraftKings has you covered for every single one.
The DraftKings app is now live in California, so whether you're catching the early kickoff before work or the late match at the bar, you're in on every minute. Every match, every moment, all in one app. Right here in California, the world's biggest stage is in the palm of your hand. New DraftKings customers, sign up with the code SD760. Spend $5 to get $200 in total rewards over 21 days. That's code SD760.
In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Event trading offered by DraftKings Predictions, a CFTC registered introducing broker. Trading involves risk of loss. Market availability varies. Eligibility restrictions apply. $50 every 7 days via click to claim, issued in non-withdrawable predictions dollars that expire in 1 year. Ends July 19th. Terms, dkng.co/predictions promo.
All right, with the iHeartRadio app, you can stream us wherever you are, 24 hours a day. Just search for San Diego Sports 760 to stream us live all day, every day. You can leave your comments for us using the TalkBack microphone. A lot of times we're giving away prizes around that. Tell us what you liked, what you didn't like, what you want us to talk about. Make us a preset so we pop up each time you open up that app. San Diego Sports 760, always live on the iHeartRadio app.
Glad you mentioned that. If you tell us how you'd feel if the Padres traded Mason Miller, you're entered to win a 4-pack of tickets to see ZZ Top August 4th here in San Diego. Just open up the iHeartRadio app, search for 760, click the red TalkBack mic.
That technically was an and one.
Yeah,
that was an and one.
Your shot there?
You hit my wrist.
I came close. The video would suggest I didn't. Play it back.
Crap, we have two cameras in front of us. Good point.
All right, so 48 and 48, Alan, at the break. So it's not like there have been all these like remarkable moments in franchise history for us to get to this point. Although I do think it's very easy to argue that they could have a much worse record if not for some of the improbable late wins they had in the first half of the year.
Predominantly early on, right?
First month, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Most of them.
Okay, let's see if we can think of them off the top of our head.
You go one, I'll go one.
I think of Gavin Sheets in Milwaukee.
Yep.
3-run homer, down 1-0. Was that with 2 outs?
I think it was with 2 outs in the ninth inning.
I don't think they had anybody on with 2 outs.
And then they started the rally.
Started it. There's one that I could think of with Gavin Sheets.
I'll match that and raise you the Nick Castellanos left for dead game. Also getting shut out in the bottom of the ninth inning with 2 outs. This one at home when he walked off.
Castellanos sounds like he was on the team 3 years ago.
2017, right? But that was a big moment, was it not?
Yeah.
That was actually in May, I think. It was after the break.
I got one for you.
Give it to me.
How about the Xander Bogaerts Grand Slam?
Yeah. Wasn't there a Gavin Sheets
tie game? I think they went back to back. Like it was one day it was a Gavin Sheets walk off, the next day it was Xander, or vice versa, or something like that.
Did Toddy have a walk off homer recently? He did.
Toddy did. I think tied
in a tie game, like in the 10th or the 9th. Okay,
he had a walk off.
There was but we mentioned there was the Sheets Grand Slam in a tie game.
Mm-hmm.
There was a Toddy walk off.
We might be off a little bit on
whatever.
Here.
It sounds good.
You said something to me earlier that I think was such a. I'm with you on this. Didn't they have a game where they're down 3-4 runs against the Red Sox early on?
When they were 2-5 that Sunday.
2-5.
That Sunday they were 2-5. Cold day, rainy, 4-0 early.
That's right.
They win the game.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was significant, honestly.
To have a team that's 500, they actually had some moments. You could look at the Michael King 1-0 game against the Dodgers.
So I'll give you Saturday. Mm-hmm. They're down 4-3 to the Blue Jays in the 8th inning.
That's right.
And they came back and won 5-4 with 2 runs in the bottom of the 8th inning. As in, for a team that quote unquote has this, that's a curse, this offense, this 30th best offense in the sport, they've had some come from behind wins.
Yeah.
A number of them.
Now, if I play it the other way and give me some of the worst moments of the first half of the season.
Pavetta. Just his health.
Oh,
that's had such a big impact, I think.
Bro, that moment too, he came out during a game against the Rockies. I don't know if you remember.
Was it a weekend game? Right?
It was a weekend game. I think it was a Sunday against the Rockies.
Yep.
And everything was always good.
Because they started fast.
And when that happened, kind of the gut punch, and then the next day you and I are doing a show, and Stammen's like, well, we all know he could not miss a start.
I pitch in 5 days. It's been how many days since then?
I'm like, Stammen, if you don't know that for a fact,
don't say it.
Shut your up.
It's been 100 days.
I know.
Or 3 months.
I know. But you could also, I bet this, they give up 23 runs against the Cubs. I forgot about the awful games against the Dodgers. I mean, I'm at the game where they win against Michael King, the 1-0. I'm at the next game where they go up 4-2 off Machado and both of them hit 2-run homers. They go up 4-2. And then, you're kind of feeling good about yourself. They're in this divisional race, and then, the wheels fall off there. That's the Mason Miller Air.
Yes.
Or Ty France or whoever screwed it up.
Oh, yeah. Of course. I remember.
And then
Here, I'll give you another.
Yep.
It's just the 8-game losing streak. At that point, it was like all hope is lost.
I know.
And honestly, that's where I think most Padres fans right now are more skeptical than optimistic.
Can I tell you something funny?
Yeah.
We were just having an argument a couple of days ago about what are the next, 9 games going to look like or whatever. And I'm like, it's going to be in the middle.
Right.
I'm like, this team will be like, well, they just lost 8 in a row. I'm like, I just shut up. Right after that point, I completely shut up.
This of all sports, no one knows.
Yeah.
Like in the NBA, I know in the regular season, San Antonio is going to win a lot.
But here's what you do know, I think, in baseball.
Yeah.
Are you watching a consistent, good product or not?
Yeah, starting pitching matters.
Now, I will tell you this. They dropped that first game to Toronto, bouncing back and winning Saturday and Sunday. I did think getting back to 500 was kind of big based off of the trajectory that it could have been going in. They did that 20-game stretch. They went 9-11 that we talked about. So they kind of hit. They went 9-11
in a stretch where they lost
8 in a row.
Second half about to get underway. What are the storylines moving forward in the final 66 games for San Diego? We'll get into them on the other side. Plus, you'll hear the talkback from the winner of the ZZ Top tickets coming up as well. Here until 6 p.m. on Schaefer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760, and live on the iHeartRadio app. Hey, guys, it is Schaefer again for my friends at the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the Players Place. What a weekend to get to Jamul. The World Cup coming to an end, and you can be there for the watch parties this weekend at Tony Gwynn Sports Pub, where you've been able to catch every match on the big screens at Tony Gwynn's during their World Cup watch parties. You can enjoy all the game day specials, the great food, the cold drinks, the electric atmosphere for every match. Grab your crew. Get there this weekend. Enjoy it with Jamul. You'll love their hotel and spa, where you can experience elevated luxury. They've got a refined hotel stay, rooftop relaxation, indulgent spa treatments, all the excitement of Jamul Casino Resort seamlessly brought together in one unforgettable destination. Now you can take your stay to the next level. They've got exclusive hotel packages crafted for the ultimate escape. They've got so many really, really good dining options, including Jamul 23 with their lobster buffet every day, where you can enjoy all-you-can-eat lobster every single day, plus dozens of other delicious stations at the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the Players Place.
This report is sponsored by rockauto.com. The Padres are off due to the All-Star break. They'll get back at it on Friday when they travel to Kansas City to start a weekend set with the Royals. World Cup semifinal from earlier today. Argentina defeated England 2-1. They will move on to the finals on Sunday to face Spain, which you can hear right here on San Diego Sports 760 beginning at 11:30. A failed strut can turn any drive into a rough ride. When it's time for repairs, Rock Auto makes finding the right part easy. Shop name brand parts at lower prices and have them shipped directly to your door. All the parts your car will ever need, Rock Auto.
All right, Schaefer and Sliwa, we have a winner, Alan, of the ZZ Top tickets.
Okay.
So let's get a drum roll here for this big announcement.
You're a big drum roll guy.
I am. I played drums as a kid.
But you can't say, let's get a drum roll here and then say, for this big announcement in the most monotone way.
Yes, I can. I've done it I can. It might not be the best way to do it. I can do it.
I just love let's get a drum roll.
Whatever.
For this big announcement.
All right, let's get a drum roll for this big announcement. All right, the winner of a 4-pack of tickets to ZZ Top in San Diego is Scott from, of all places, San Diego.
Let's go, Scott.
California. Congrats to Scott.
Good work, Scott.
You're going to see ZZ Top with Cheap Trick, North Island Credit Union Amphitheater, August 4th. More info and tickets at Ticketmaster.com. All right, what are the storylines here? We talked about the first half, yada, yada, yada. Come from behind wins, injuries to Nick Pivetta, Joe Musgrove, we know about.
All over the place, 48 and 48.
Up and down, 100%. Now we have a trade deadline in 2 weeks, just over, and we've got 66 games. They've already played 30 more games than they have remaining. They've played 96, 66 remain. They're 3.5 games out. You like my math. They're 3.5 games out of the playoff spot with 66 to play. So where do you start as the second half gets underway?
I think to me, starting pitching, and however you want to take it, but starting pitching, they're not going to be a playoff team based off of these last couple of months in their starting pitching. So we could talk all day long about the offense and Manny Machado and where's Tatis and where's Jackson Merrill. And then the ancillary pieces. You've had guys kind of up and down seasons. You relied on Gavin Sheets a little bit early. Ty France came through in some situations, but I think to me, they're not built anyways to score 4 or 5 runs, but they're supposed to be built technically, keep the game close. You're starting pitching, get it to your bullpen. Can you win 3-2 games, 4-3, 2-1? That's the San Diego Padres in a perfect world.
Can they do that?
You can't do that with the starting pitching.
That's the thing. So now we look at the deadline like, okay. And I agree with you where you're like, we'll look up in 10 or 15 days. They'll have a comparable record.
Yeah.
Unlikely to be 8 over or 8 under in 12 games.
Yeah.
So let's just say they're 2 over,
2 under.
Yep. Yeah, 2 over, 2 under. 3 out, 4 out. 2 out, 4 out, whatever. Will they add? We're going to get there. They need starting pitching. We all see it. It's plain as day. They're going to be on the outside looking in. Unlikely to be in a playoff position the day the trade deadline hits. Will they do what is necessary to try to keep themselves in it for the long haul or not? What do you think?
I think under that circumstance, I think there's going to be enough to tell AJ Preller, all right, I got 5 teams that there's a good chance I probably can't catch in a race. But there are a lot of other teams that are also, they're not significantly better than us. I'm talking about the Cardinals, talking about Pittsburgh, talking about the Marlins, and some of these you're going to get a chance. I think they got 6 against Miami, if I'm right here.
Arizona's on that list.
Arizona's on that list. Like none of these teams. I mean, listen, maybe I'm wrong here. Maybe Miami is legit. Maybe the Cardinals are that much better than the Padres. Maybe Pittsburgh can say we're here to stay. But the only teams that I truly have confidence in, I think Chicago, Philly, and then the rest of these division winners are probably going to stay in the mix. So my question is, I got to have a starting pitcher. They got to get a starting pitcher at least at the trade deadline. The next question is going to be, can a Nick Pivetta or Joe Musgrove get back in to also shore up some of that? And then is there one of these other pitchers that can step up? I mean, at one point you thought it was going to be Randy Vasquez. Look what's happened to Vasquez over this last month and a half, 2 month stretch. So I don't know if that answers your question, but there's enough there to at least just say to yourself, can we just stay in the mix? I'm not giving up a crazy amount of capital. I'm not trying to go all in, but I am trying to make the postseason if I can. And again, the teams that are in front of them have question marks as well, and there's no guarantee that all these teams are going to stay in the mix.
I'll give you this, man. In terms of offensive storylines, for me, and there's been much less attention paid here than elsewhere, for me, one of the massive storylines is, can Jackson Merrill look the part? Return to any form. He's had an awful year.
Yeah.
Awful year. 219 batting average, 628 OPS, a .5 WAR. That includes defense. He's been a replacement level player for the first 96 games of the year. We talk about Machado and Tatis obsessively. I'm the first to do it. Jackson Merrill, it would be so nice to see the 2024 Jackson Merrill. I don't know how realistic it is. I'll tell you what, if this is who he is all year long, I have serious reservations about this player. heading into 2027 beyond. I would love to see the 2024 version shine in the second half of the year. That would be high on my priority list to see the team play well.
You have confidence in that?
Unfortunately, not a ton. Do you? I don't. He seems lost at times.
He does seem lost. Chases everything.
He does
so much out of the strike zone that he ends up chasing. There isn't this discipline. And then you got pitchers that are saying to themselves, "Wait a minute, if I don't have to throw anything in the zone against you, why the hell am I going to take my shot?" You know what? It is unfortunately for Jackson Merrill. The direction that he's trending. And I'm asking you this, and what was your immediate response? You're like, no, I don't have that much confidence. That's not a good sign.
I know. I mean, there's the Xander conversation. It's like, well, Xander's different. It's like, I already don't have confidence. With Jackson Merrill, I'm like, I'm supposed to have some confidence.
Of course you should.
23 years old. He's shown us stuff before. I just feel like he's an important piece. I mean, is it as simple as Manny goes, the team goes? I don't think that way. You feel the same way.
You can't. I mean, and listen, number one, the Machado piece, to put all the pressure on Manny Machado, I think at this stage, and plus it's baseball. It's not like this is a starting quarterback. It's not like this is it ain't LeBron on the floor where it's like one guy can just carry a team. I don't agree with the Padres go as Manny goes. I'll tell you how the Padres go. They go when Manny, Tatis, Merrill are going.
Yeah.
And then you got some ancillary, the production they've got from the catching position is just pathetic.
Other than like Campy.
Yeah, and Campy unfortunately hasn't been healthy.
Yeah, exactly.
As you go further down the lineup, obviously that's been an issue. We know Ramon Laureano most likely not coming back. So don't give me this as Manny goes, the Padres go. Manny got hot and they were still playing under 500 baseball.
That's the key point.
Of course.
Right.
Well, that's what happens when your starters aren't giving you any length. You got bullpen guys that are out. You got an offense that, up and down the lineup, there's inconsistent hitters. What do you mean if Manny goes, the Padres go?
And then there's the $1 million questions beyond that. It's Mason Miller. I mean, there's so much speculation on Mason Miller. He's being written about in the New York Post. He's being asked obsessively during media availability about whether or not he's going to be dealt. That is the name that I think will follow the Padres into the deadline. What comes of it maybe is the biggest storyline actually involving the Padres to start the second half. I think there'll be more speculation on Mason Miller's future than any other talking point probably between now and the deadline.
Let me ask you a question. What do you want to see? Let's say AJ Preller got a really good offer for Mason Miller, and prospect wise, all right, it's not top 3 in all of baseball, top 3, a prospect that's in the top 3 of the overall farm system, but you're getting a good haul back. You could recoup a lot of what you lost last season when you traded for Mason Miller. You want to see them do it?
I don't know, man. That's why I think his job is hard. Like, I could be convinced probably either way. I keep going back to this analogy of like they have multiple holes. If he helps you fill multiple holes, maybe it is worth it. But then again, if I'm actually going to win this year, doesn't he provide real value to help me win this year? He has not blown a save. And their margins are so thin, that's helpful. If they're going to win every game they lead heading into the 9th inning in the second half, he's a big reason why. So I could go with the wind on that.
What do you think? Let's say it happened. What do you think would be
fan base reaction?
The perception. Like, just what's the perception?
That's a great question.
If the Padres trade Mason Miller, and let's put him on a team where it's like, well, that dude could very easily be on. Let's say he got traded to the New York Yankees,
right?
And you can just imagine what all these networks are going to do with Mason Miller and the pinstripes. And then you get to the postseason and the Yankees are trying to make a run here. And who's getting that ball when they're up 3-2 or 2-1 or 4-3? And it's just highlight after highlight. This is the best. How would you feel about that? Like, what would be the perception you think if they traded Mason Miller?
I personally don't like the Padres playing second fiddle to the quote-unquote big markets. Like, I go back to the Soto trade, which also didn't play out perfectly. Like, did we envision when they traded for him being here only a year and a half? I didn't. I thought he'd be here for the 2.5 years of control. Just like Mason Miller, they sold us last year. He's controllable. So you're going to move him a year later. I don't like playing farm system for the Yankees. I'm watching Juan Soto in the World Series after that trade. Now, they didn't win it. I don't personally really want to see Mason Miller win a World Series with the Yankees this year. Like, that's not high on my priority list.
Hell no.
So I don't think I love it.
So again, I'll go back to this question. Now, look, you could also look at the Juan Soto deal and you could say, well,
it was beneficial.
Padres got stuff back.
Yeah.
Soto ends up walking away from the Yankees. You weren't going to pay him $700 and change.
No, you're right.
Ends up with a different team. Did the Yankees kind of play that one right? So I think that, there's layers to it. I think it's funny. The question I think about Juan Soto has less to do with Soto ending up with the Yankees. The question is more to do with I'm watching other players thrive, like in the All-Star game yesterday, where Abrams and Wood are both in the All-Star game.
Yeah.
I look more at the Nationals than I do at the Yankees.
Yeah.
Like if DeVries ends up being just an absolute star for the A's, I care less about what happened to Mason Miller after he left the Padres. I care more about that.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. What do you guys want to see happen with Mason Miller? You want him to stay or go? With everything that we know about the Padres, should Mason Miller stay or go? Phone lines.
I want to see him stay.
Yeah, I want to. I think
I want to see him stay. Well. Again, I go back to what I said a little bit earlier. If they traded Mason Miller after trading for him, and 1 year later he's gone, I have a little bit of like,
I get what you're doing.
I get the whole, everybody's sitting back and saying, I love AJ Preller and look what he does. And every network praising how much risk he takes. It's like, what the hell did you just do in the last year? You just traded for Mason Miller for what? You just gave up one of the top prospects in all of baseball for you to trade him 1 year later. What did you really accomplish?
Yeah, I agree. I don't know how it's going to look. I don't think it's going to look great personally for Preller or the Padres. What do you guys think? 877-767-4760. Second half getting underway on Friday. Mason Miller's future in a Padres uniform very much in doubt. We'll react on the other side. Schaefer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, final time. Schaefer and Sliwa.
Final time. Do you ever shake with your left?
Never.
Never shake with my left.
By the way, it just reminded me because there was some like dead air there, although we have the music underneath. When I remember I used to call San Diego State baseball, Brent, like 2017. When I wouldn't talk for like 10 seconds because baseball has a very like methodical pacing to it, especially college baseball. And then like an alarm goes off in the building. Like if you don't talk on a station, I think it might be set for 15 seconds. 7 seconds. If you don't talk for 7 seconds, I'm like, dude, I want it to breathe.
An alarm goes off?
Oh yeah, they get emails and everything. People start coming in the studio. We go all the time, I feel like, without talking for 7 seconds.
No, I don't think we do. You think between the three of us? I don't think we do. See, 7 seconds is a long time.
I loved it,
try it?
But I like letting it breathe. Is my point. Yeah, I'll try it.
Can't do it.
But I have no problem with
7 is too long. You can't do 7.
If we tried 7, 15 seconds.
Yeah, but baseball there's actually some of my favorite like play-by-play calls and broadcasters in the past and some that do it. There's an art to just letting that thing breathe. And it's become, I think, less and less common.
That was my theory on Aztec baseball games. Let it breathe.
Until an alarm would go off.
That's right. It would happen all the time. So I just wanted you to know that every 15 seconds, or as Brian has told us, every 7 seconds, you need to say something.
Brother, this was like a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago. I'm doing a YouTube show, and I'm doing it from home, right?
Yeah.
Most of us, if you're doing YouTube shows, you kind of set up at home and you have your own setup there. And I think I'm not sure if I mentioned this or I didn't, but I'm doing the broadcast, and this is like really, really early in free agency. And to be honest with you, it's kind of like one of the most viewed. Like all the stuff was just coming down, right? And I'm doing it live, and there's a lot of live viewers in there. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, beep.
What was that? What was the beep?
I'm like, tell me.
Oh, you told me it was the smoke alarm.
I'm like, tell me that's not. I'm looking.
I can't deal with that.
I'm looking up at the. I'm looking up at the clock at the time, and it's like I do the show from 8 to 9, right?
What time was it?
It's like 8:43.
So you had time. You were still on the air for another 20 minutes.
Beep.
The chirp.
Just a little chirp thing going.
Now I hate that chirp.
Now I'm trying to talk over.
Change your battery.
I'm trying.
Right. Yeah, but he's on the air. Now, you know what ended up happening? Did anyone call you out?
Yeah, I would see it in the chat. Somebody's like,
what's that?
So nobody's going to mention. I saw one comment that said, so nobody's going to mention the smoke, the chirping in the background. I just tried ignoring it. Finished the show right at 9. I had changed the battery of that smoke alarm the night before because I had like just a random chirp when I was trying to sleep. So
would you put old batteries in it?
No, just got a brand new battery. I put it in,
and it was chirping.
The next morning it chirped again. So I tell the landlord, I'm like, I got an issue here. This freaking thing. He's like, oh, I'll just change the battery. I'm like, it ain't a battery. Actually, had somebody come. He's like, yeah, that means the whole thing is dead. They take the whole thing out and they replace it.
I have an embarrassing moment that just happened recently with smoke alarms. I think embarrassing is the wrong term. I had assumed in my home, in which I own, this is a very bad assumption. I had assumed the smoke alarms worked because I'm just under the belief that it'll chirp if it doesn't, right?
Yeah, I would be under the same belief.
After about, no joke, 5 years, I finally went up to this thing this spring. And I'm like, something fishy is going on. 2 of them. I go up to both of them.
I went up to you're making it sound like you went up to a neighbor, like a person. I addressed.
I go up to this thing. I take it off the ceiling. Both of them.
No batteries.
No batteries. Nothing. I got my son.
Was it connected?
No. So here's what I do.
Because if it was connected, it would chirp.
I go online. I'm like, what do I, do I buy these things? I go to like ChatGPT. You know me. I can't install a light bulb, let alone. I call up like a guy. I'm like, yo, can you like do this for me? I spent a good amount of money
to have somebody walk up there for 30 seconds on each one.
Correct. No, we got new ones. He replaced them out, but I'm like, at least I'm not going to die from not hearing a smoke alarm.
5 years you didn't have?
It might have been longer. I bought the home in 2020.
Is that even legal?
No,
for
but
whoever sold the home?
I remember when we bought it.
Don't they go
we're going to check that out.
Yeah, because they go through their
it's part of the inspection.
Inspection.
They're like, yeah, we're gonna do that. But they never did that. So anyway,
that's not good.
Yeah, you kind of got by without a fire, but
you might be on the hook for that though. Because for me, it's in my lease to check it myself. It's not up to my landlord.
Yeah,
so
I'm definitely on the hook.
I don't check it, I mess it well.
Yeah, but when you're selling a property, isn't there an inspection on both sides? Like they do an inspection, you do an inspection?
Maybe.
You guys got double inspection idiots.
All I know is, but I will say,
and they weren't even connected.
They weren't connected. But here's the one thing I will say: I do hate the chirp.
Oh, the chirp!
But I'd rather have the chirp than die in a fire.
Is the chirp, if I'm correct here with the chirp,
are you that sound of a sleeper that you'd sleep through the fire?
I mean, the thing is with a fire, a lot of people. I mean, I hate to be the bearer of bad news here.
It's usually smoking.
Like you're gonna die from. That's why I have smoke alarms. You can die from a fire.
Sure.
You know.
Is the chirp? I don't know if I figured this one out. Is it pretty consistent? Like it's every 15 seconds?
So annoying. Minute, right? It's
until the battery dies fully.
Yeah, it's going to go, man.
Yeah, it's going. No, you're right about that.
And it might not be 15 seconds, but every 49 seconds.
That's what I'm saying.
Because they really want to bother you.
Madness?
Yeah, because they're like, yo, you better fix this thing.
Yeah.
Before, Yeah,
I tried for a second because it went off like 3:30 in the morning. I'm like, okay, can I sleep through this thing?
No, you cannot. No. You cannot.
It's just consistent enough.
Want to do this again tomorrow?
I want to talk smoke alarms tomorrow.
All day, 3 hours.
If you're in the smoke alarm business, we are the place to be at tomorrow at 3.
That's right.
We'll hit on it.
You can mark it right here.
Yes, sir.
On Schaefer and Sliwa. All right. If you missed anything today, check out sportssd.com or the iHeartRadio app. We're on iTunes.
Thank you, our people.
Radio.
Thank you
Spotify.
for being here.
Appreciate you all hanging out. We're going to do it again tomorrow beginning at 3 p.m. For Brent and Alan, I'm John. Keep it here. This has been Schaefer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app. Peace.